The opening bounce. Simmons and Biglands. Not a bad bounce either. Favoured the Freo player. He tapped it down. Biglands did the roving. Got a kick away too out towards the wing. Laddams boots it down towards half forward. McGregor had it knocked away by McFarlane. Hadrill, resolute defender. McFarlane under pressure. Bumped as he kicked. Very high one. 3-on-1. It wanders out of bounds in any case. Out on the full. So any one of three can take the kick. Rashudo will get it. Just forward at the wing. Plays on. Penetrating kick inside the 50. Up goes McFarlane. Got fingertips to it. Perry picks it up. Emerges from the pack. Run down by Parker. McGregor's got it now. He's taken down by McFarlane. Well to him, says the umpire, and we'll have a ball up.
Perry being picked up by Hadrill in the
Bell on
attacking zone.
Bell on McLeod there, Clinton. So not
a good one.
Yeah, it might be a shootout there.
Crows half forward zone. Hedlund winning it down. Hurried spray kick. Now that's deemed a behind for Rhett Biglands, just squeezing in the game's opening score.
And you mentioned Brett Burton in the preview, Dennis. He's getting picked up by Matthew Carr on the far wing, so a fair bit of respect being shown to Burton.
Dockers bring it into Parker in the back pocket. Crows zoning up from the kick in now. They're just squeezing Fremantle here. The short wide kick they're happy to concede. Now Grover's working his way into space there. That's ignored, so he'll have to drive it longer to a contest. McGregor doubling back but standing tall. Simmons, now Bill, and the Dockers can break away. Cook for Hazelby. Pavlich, wonderful build-up, too much on the handball for Hedlund. He'll continue though, under pressure to the top of the square for Longmuir. And how's that transferred from defence into attack?
Well, they would have practiced that at training. They were patient in the back half. They eventually kicked it to Simmons, and then the runners came. It was about 3 or 4 just backing up the handball receiver there. It was good play. Thought they were in trouble there with that Pavlich errant handball. And good for Justin Longmuir to get an early catch. That's what he hasn't been doing, just those contested marks close to goal. This will be good for his confidence.
Just the 4 touches against the Magpies last week without a goal, has 28 for the season, and should make no mistake for the game's opening goal for the Dockers.
And that's their style, Fremantle. Under Chris Connolly in the back half, they generally chip the ball around. They wait for someone to pop up. They get the hurry on. They kick it to a contest there. Well done by Des there. Fair enough, just to whack it forward and give it a little bit of height and allow Justin Longmuir a chance to grab the ball in the air.
So Longmuir, 29 goals for the season. This time last season had booted 28, but spent a lot more time rucking. He's been under pressure. His form hasn't been good. That is good for him and the Dockers, that early touch. Centre square infringement. And it's going the Dockers' way. Simmons to take it. Spots a man moving towards the outer side. Bell. Well chopped off by Beckley. Not really the desired target. Now Biglands got it from Stingline, running down towards half forward. Pumps it on the breeze. This could well be a goal. It bounces the wrong way and goes through for a behind. Well worth the effort. Quick thinking by the big man. He was rolling towards half forward, saw the square was open and went for it. The margin 4 points. And the breeze strong enough to suggest any score into it will be handy today. Hadrill taking plenty of time. This is the defensive side that he comes to. Simmons trying to work off a marker. In the meantime, McGregor almost took the mark. Tied up his Stengline, and we'll have a bounce. About 55 metres out from the attacking goal for the Crows.
Umpire McBurney, as we have a look, the Crows very productive in the opening quarters this year, winning 11 of them. Rashudo being hotly pursued by Hazelby. Grover shovels it to the attacking side of the wing. Smart leading Longmuir in the race for it. Perhaps the boundary line, the best result for Adelaide. We'll have a throw in on the wing.
And I think that's interesting. I think out in open space, Nigel Smart will be able to beat Justin Longmuir, but deep in attack, say 30 metres from goal on a one-on-one contest, Longmuir would prefer those those contests.
Boundary throw in on the wing then. Simmons trying to direct it down, finds it again on the ground, takes a tumble, got it to Headland. Hurried kick towards half forward. Bassett came to meet it. Edwards could have been pushed in the back. He's going to get a free kick. Tyson Edwards, left half back.
Bickley's in a bit of strife there, Dennis, in the hands of the trainers.
Yes, but knowing him,
it's pretty tough, isn't he?
I'll say. There goes the kick from Edwards towards the wing. Handrell the flyer. Grover the crumb. Wrestled to ground. Immediately umpire McBurney blows the whistle. So a bounce on the wing. Bickley seems to be okay now. Easy for us to say. Didn't see what happened there, but trainers out very quickly. If you're going to get crunched, not a bad spot in front of the dugout. Biglands gets it down to Bickley, who immediately undergoes a fitness test. McLeod, as Clint said, loves playing against the Dockers. High ball down towards half forward. McFarlane got a fist on it. It eluded Burns. Bounces to Bell. Bell surrounded by Crows. Gets it back to McFarlane. With some time goes to Woods.
And Woods has been on the overlap out wide. Headland and Carr. Crowd roar. Headland to Hazelby. Over the top for Simmons, has McManus and Cook in plenty of space, or he can go himself. The big man backs himself for a bounce and finishes with a behind. And that's a very disappointing finish for what looked to be a promising build-up, and Ben, so many loose Dockers forward. They should have done better than that.
That would be disconcerting, wouldn't it? There was a number, probably 4 or 5 different options. I mean, Headland and Carr initially on the outer wing. Yeah, not great on the rebound on that occasion, Adelaide.
Now Rashudo, wobbly kick in, but it's effective as Laddams at centre-half back takes the mark. Want to move it quickly. Good lead by Perry, almost but not quite. Has support from Hart. Towards centre-half forward, it's a well-weighted ball. Coming out after a Bassett. Now Ronnie Burns. Can he get it over the top to Burton? Streaks him forward, he does. And Burton, he won't miss this. Crows take the lead.
It's going to be interesting. Brett Burton on Matthew Carr. Both players appear to be running wide of one another. I'd actually prefer a tough tag on Burton. He's got the ability to find the ball in space. It was a nice kick initially from Hart, and Ronnie just drew McFarlane beautifully, and it was a pretty easy finish in the end. It's be interesting to see Matthew Carr's tactics, whether he goes hard one-on-one with Burton for the next couple of minutes.
Amazing turnaround right there. Simmons missing at one end. Burton making them pay at the other within seconds. McLeod, the hurried kick out of the middle down towards Perry. Played with East Perth. Fisted away by Hadrell. Woods to Grover. Now McFarlane. Interesting style with the bounce. He chips it up towards the wing. It bounces away from Polak and goes across the boundary line. Henschel, just a handful of games. A youngster getting his opportunity with those injuries today.
We mentioned Bell on McLeod, Dennis. Looks like Stengline at the same time is trying to pick off Peter Bell.
Biglands props in front. Simmons, though, wins the duel. Nicely done. Got it down to Cook to Bell. Bell scuttles in characteristic fashion inside the centre square. Bounces it to Carr. Well done by Burton, and again he's outnumbered. Carr somehow took the ball away. McLeod charges in. Wonderful slick hands with Shudo running down towards the 50. 75 metres out. Goes or tries to go to Perry. Hadrell read it brilliantly.
He'll switch it out wide, and now Grover on half-back. Bell, well, that could be costly. It opens the door for Laddams. As McLeod running with him, decides to go long himself, needs to come back, doesn't get the kind bounce, and it's through for a behind. Perry's appeals for a free kick going unheeded. Well, it's an entertaining start, Ben, isn't it?
It is. Both sides going at it, running hard. A lot of open ball in plenty of space from both sides as well early.
Hazelby receives the kick. Goes wide. Pavlich with some work to do, and he's equal to the task beautifully. On to McManus quickly. Takes on Bassett. Gets by him and delivers to Longmuir. Smart, the wily veteran, provides the spoil. Boyd Bickley and Medhurst are on a collision course. Tawney for Smart. Now, Rashudo to chase it down. In from the side, Simmons. Rashudo, ball at a gate, persistent there. Laddams hard. Crows going in hard. Rashudo bangs boot the ball quickly towards half forward. Johncock for McLeod. Dances by a couple. Weaving his way through. Delivery to the pocket over the head of the intended target. And now the Dockers can look to clear through Hadra.
To Woods. Across the ground. Not a good kick. Carr waits for the bounce. Stengline comes to him, then hangs back. The kick intended for Headland. Burton with that leap got a knee into Headland as well.
He's down.
Fist on the footy and the ball is out of bounds. That would smart. It's a cold day out there and Burton coming hard. He's all points, is Brett Burton. And Headland knows that now. Meantime, thrown in on the outer side. Burton's got the football, touched off the boot. Headland breaks away from the trainers, stubs it towards the boundary. Hazelby asking a bit of Headland. He's not 100%. McFarlane sweeping hand pass wide around the outer side. Hazelby towards the wing, then in Pollack. He's got a wonderful spring.
In front of the Doring, faithful in the outer, delivers to a 2-on-1 at half forward, and the one wins in Bassett. As Headland's going to try and run it out. Crows by a couple of points early. Bassett just pops it up, carries a bit with the breeze. Dockers have numbers back there, harassing Perry, who kept his footing. Delivers for Bickley towards McGregor. Good pick up. McFarlane got him. Now a foot race, and Burns often wins those. Walker bringing him down fairly, and again great defence by Walker there. Burns still going. Walker wins. Wonderful battle. Sandilands works it towards Farmer and Edwards. Now Bickley from the side. Crows look to persist. This is Henschel, the first-year player, showing good poise there, and not a bad kick too. It's a beautiful kick. The two first-year players hooking up. Rutten leading out, takes the mark, and now we'll line it up from directly in front, 40 metres out, to try and kick a goal with his first kick in AFL footy.
Well-weighted kick, wasn't it, to his obvious advantage there. But James Walker, good play in defence initially. Cleaned up Craig McRae from the Brisbane Lions a couple of weeks ago, so he's in good nick. Roger Hayden can't get a start in this back line at the minute.
It's an illustrious club. Can Bren Rutten join it? First kick in league, footy's a goal. Crows have their second to lead by 8 points as Byron Shammer makes his way onto the ground.
Well, that was a good first contest for the young fellow. I reckon early in a match you can see how these young guys are going to go. It was a good leg initially into open space and a good tack on the ball. That is just a good sign shown as a forward. He understands how to lead and present himself. Good for his confidence.
Young Rutten, I think from West Adelaide, if that's the case. Byron Shammer just on the ground, also came through Westies. Had a bad day yesterday. Rashudo, Edwards, other players from that club. McLeod gets a hand pass away. Here's Hart inside the centre square. Goes very wide, stretching out there. Johncock didn't complete the mark, in front of the problem. And Woods, he certainly wasn't out of the woods. It's across the line. It'll be tossed here.
Hazelby and Rashudo running against one another. Could be a good matchup.
Pavlich stays off this one. I thought for a moment he was going to ruck out there. Rashudo tied up and wrestled down. Hazelby behind, Pavlich in front. A lot of talent falling to the ground right there.
The other interesting one there, Dennis, is Ben Hunt up in the midfield alongside Pavlich, so he'll probably follow him for most of the day, even if Pavlich goes forward.
Umpire McBurney to bounce.
Crows, number one for clearances, remember. And again, Clark for Burton. On the run from 50, gives it a ride. Oh, what a goal by Burton. His second, Crows third. Well, we said it, they're number one for clearances and whisking it forward there and damaging Brett Burton.
And well done by Matthew Clark. He followed up on the initial ruck contest. Just got in between Matthew Carr and that man, Brett Burton. Good ruck play, good follow-up and second effort. He's looking dangerous. He likes his ground, Brett Burton, whether it's the wide open spaces and the hard turf. That's probably a couple of reasons why. He's played some good footy here over his career. Need to tighten up right now on him.
Fair to say he's in a form streak. 111 possessions in his last 4 matches. Dockers will get the clearance here. Pavlich's kick, though, high to a contest. Good use of the body by Polak, holding off Biglands, unable to take the mark. We'll have a bounce half forward for the Dockers.
It's interesting, Freo have Sandilands in the ruck now, and Simmons has drifted forward, getting picked up by Nigel Smart.
Clark down for Rashudo, immediately held by Hazelby. We'll have another bounce and check in with Mark Reddings downstairs.
Yes, Clinton, there were concerns that Justin Longmuir had dislocated his finger, but he just had the area taped after that marking contest, so it shouldn't be too long before he's back out on the field.
So the bounce down towards half forward for the Dockers, taken away by Clark, though, into the path of Shirley.
Oh!
Heard it from here. Woods got him, and Shirley hasn't moved. Well, we talked about Burton being all points. Now the umpire's gone across. He's paid a free kick to Shirley, but I'd venture to say at the moment that is the least of Shirley's worries. Well, I heard the crack. That was sickening. He was aware that Woods was coming, full credit to him. Had the look up, saw Woods, kept going hard at the footy, and Woods, from his point of view, kept the elbow down and met him, I thought, fairly. If it slipped up a little high, I don't think it was with intent.
It has become the buzz rule, hasn't it, of late, talking about more protection for the player going to the ball. They said that if it's going to be a change, it's going to come in for next season, but you fancy that the umpires will be keen to ensure that the free kicks are paid for the remainder of this year, given it's going to be closely scrutinised.
Yeah, the danger on those is if one player is high and the other is low, but they're about the same level here. Just a little bit lower, obviously, Shirley, and cop one just in the side of the head. Looks like he'll be okay.
Mark Reddings down on the boundary. What can you report?
Well, I can tell you, if it looked bad, it sounded even worse. You could hear the bones crunching from about 15 metres away, and it's little wonder that he's lying on a stretcher and unlikely, you'd suspect, to take much further part in this game.
So, more bad news for the Crows. We talked about those late omissions. Players pulling out through injury yesterday, failing to complete training. 3 of them. And now Shirley comes off on a stretcher. Not much of Woods, but what there was, got that glancing blow, and you can see just that mouse above the right eye there of Shirley, so there was high contact. The umpire quite right, paying the free kick. Shirley has a glance there. He knows he's coming. Eyes only for the football. And nothing really untoward, perhaps a little error in judgment from Woods. That's about all. It was a glancing blow, but as Mark reported, and we did too, the noise was audible.
Ben, is the break come at a good time for the Dockers?
I think so. You had the impression that Adelaide were on a bit of a run. Maybe the Freo boys, even though they are against this reasonably strong breeze, can get together a little bit. Shudo's up to 5 possessions, by the way. Hazelby 5. That McLeod-Bell duel. McLeod's 5 and Bell 3.
No surprises, really. The people that Chris Connolly and his staff isolated as the dangers are proving just that, the dangers at the moment, but they can't stop them. Burton, McLeod, Rashudo.
Saying to themselves, we told you so.
We knew for 10 years that Carey was a danger at North, didn't we?
That's right. It's one thing knowing, it's another thing to be able to stop it. Here's the Roo, he's away. Not his best effort, kicks it down towards half forward. Sandilands knocked it down in front. Burns grabs it, just 2 men inside the 50. Awkward bouncing football. Rutten leads back in the race. Parker quite content just to muscle him up and let the ball go out of bounds.
Very much a set piece there from the Crows.
They did it well, didn't they?
Yeah, leaving Rutten isolated in the goal square against Parker.
They're normally good in this area as well.
They started well. There's a whistle. It's a Dockers free kick. Some holding in that contest. Sandilands immediately for Shammer. Thought about taking Clark on. Drives towards Polak in front. Strong hands. Kept his feet beautifully. Hazelby for Medhurst. Drops what he'd normally take. He'll be disappointed by that. Headland keeping it alive momentarily for the Dockers, but now it's the Crows through Rashudo. sending it out wide near the boundary. Johncock and Woods. Woods, good tackle, didn't let him go. Stengline tied up by Carr, and it's forced out on the full. Docker's free. It was deliberate anyway, according to Scott Jeffrey. Now Carr just ticked into time on. It will be a long opening term, as you see, 7.5 minutes remaining. Hazelby goes without it. McManus puts his body on the line. Shammer's kick is smothered. Sandilands, nice pickup for the big man. Shammer towards Farmer, in front. Nudged out of it by Edwards. Now Spark with plenty of room. And Hart just peeled away nicely. Oh, good balance. The kick effective in the end. Stengline for McLeod. Possession number 6 direct to McGregor at centre half forward. And he's going to win a free kick. And the local fans aren't at all happy.
Gee, that was a bit soft, I would think. There's obviously something there, but didn't think it detracted from that. Either player's attack on the footy. He'll go close from here. He's got a bit of a breeze behind him. He's a reasonably long kick. You see the infringement there. Gee, it was there, but very, very soft.
Said this season, Ken McGregor will either make him or break him. He's going to pass it off. Johncock all alone. Well, Woods his man, standing back in the goal square, looking a shade baffled and now a shade embarrassed. As Graham Johncock, your fancy, is going to make them pay.
Yeah, when that happens, sometimes you get a block in the goal square. I don't think there was a block there. Dion maybe falling asleep.
There was a mental block.
Yeah.
Graham Johncock, he's continued to go after being Adelaide's best first-year player last season. Hasn't missed a match for them in this campaign, and now can open up a very handy 20-point break. Right behind the kick. Starts out to the right and hits the top of the goalpost.
Seen Robbie Hadrill kicking in a couple of times. A little bit difficult kicking in from there because he has got the breeze in his face, so he can't actually kick it long. He preferred to just do the little chip one in there. That's fair enough.
Bell's got it. Hard to hit the top. In the Wizard Cup next year, that should be worth 10 points.
We've got that next year, have we?
What, the goalpost or
no,
the
Wizard?
I'm not sure. There's Bell out of the back pocket. Towards the wing. Sandilands props in front. Had it firsted away. Cook goes after it. Claimed immediately. Jarred out of there. Adelaide playing with a healthy appetite at the moment, but a free kick. Cook takes it, helping out this beleaguered defence. Goes out wide. Hazelby. Bear in mind, though, the breeze is a strong one. Bell runs to the wing, goes to Sandilands, has to run on, takes it back. Little chip down towards half forward McManus. 55 metres out. Grover is free. McManus in trouble. He's not. Gets a hand pass away. Chance for Walker. Bounced away from him. Bickley's hand pass okay. Run down was Edwards. Brilliant pick up Hazelby. 75 metres out. Midhurst in front. Couldn't complete the mark. Stumbling in there, Tawney. In the opposite direction, Cook. Paddled through the pack. Well played, Farmer. That hurt. Rashudo head down. Well played. Whistle, though, it's coming back. And when I said that hurt, I think Farmer clocked one across the face and or shoulder. It stopped him as he tried to knock it to advantage.
Working hard to retain possession and keep the ball in the air. He came off last week and didn't reappear after half-time, did he, with that ankle injury? I don't think it's the ankle, just caught one, but a great tackle there from Shaw McManus. Heard him not dishing off the footy. Just caught one high. Not dishing off to Simmons, who was one-on-one deep with Nigel Smart, but followed up with a fantastic tackle.
So the Wizard in the left full forward pocket found his wand in the first half last week at the MCG and then was off. These things happen, even to Wizards. In he comes and kicks from 35 right across the face. It's still a live ball. Now it's out. There's going to be a free kick for the Crows, I think. Right on the boundary line. Hart was taken high by Simmons.
There's no subtlety in that from Troy Simmons at all.
Hart going to find Edwards in the defensive goal square for the Crows. Delivers towards Bassett at centre half back. Needed a favourable bounce, and it works out well. And they've got some loose men and some runners here. Smart. The Polly Farmer-like handball for Burton. A good start for he. long to full forward. Perry's got to go against several. They should have some crummers here. This is Rutten to McGregor on the left. Straight into the breadbasket of Hadrell. Last line of defence for the Dockers. 4 minutes remaining in the opening term. Walker has Hazelby wide. Careful to Grover. Takes on Clark. Neat little sidestep. Now needed Semmon to provide the Shepherd, so he was under a bit of pressure as he kicks to Medhurst, who started slowly against Tawney. Simmons, high one towards Bell at centre half forward. Oh, and the bounce of the ball is going the Crows' way at the moment. McLeod for Bassett, for Burton. Now, he's bereft of options upfield, so he just has to wait. Deliver back for Bassett, and now he can look to build from centre half back.
Told to play on Bassett. Kicks it out towards the wing. Parker, and the fist away from Rutten, arriving very quickly. John Cock, taken down by Ward's Jard out of there, against the boundary line. Farmer tries to keep it in, nothing doing.
Gee, Rutten looked very strong in that one-on-one contest with Shane Parker before, didn't he?
He did. Let's go on to Mark Reddings. Mark?
Has some good news for the family of Robert Shirley. I've just spoken to the Crows doctor, and Shirley is up and about in the Crows change rooms. Won't play any further part in this game, but he will come and sit back on the bench.
Clark awarded a free kick, lays it off to Rashudo, going back with wonderful courage. McFarlane, with his fingertips to it, spilled to Walker. Walker tracks his own ball, but he's in second place at the moment. Burns could have been pushed to the back. He's going to get the free kick. Well, how things change in a week in football. Last week, free kicks hard to come by. The week before, even harder. Last night, today, yesterday, suddenly easier to get. Centering kick is a beauty. John Cock directly in front, 35 metres out. We've got some light rain starting to fall, have we? Oh. Good news for the Crows then.
Ball coming in reasonably quickly to Adelaide's forward line, and Perry hasn't had much of the footy, but he is making a contest, and I'm sure that's all Gary Ayres would have asked of him. Just bring the ball to the ground so guys like John Cock can get underneath him.
I thought that was the sign for rain, Clint. I wasn't sure. It looked a little transcendental, but I got you. John Cock, you've got the young eyes. Here he comes. Steps inside the 50. Important kick, this one. Out to the right.
Couple of set shots for Graham John Cock. He might have been expecting at least one of them to go through. Likewise his coach. 16 points the Crows lead, but with the stiff breeze at their back. Hadrell now to bring it back into play with Adelaide employing a 9-man zone up to the 50. Long ball. Simmons flew. McFarlane waiting down, couldn't get it. Now Sandilands, they've got all the tall timber there. Nice pick-up by Simmons. Walker's kick smothered by the omnipresent McLeod. It comes to Rashudo. Here he is on cue. Oh, Mr. Magic there. How good is that from Andrew McLeod? One of the highlights you will see, no doubt, on the winners tonight from 7:30 Eastern on Fox Footy. Andrew McLeod as damaging as ever.
Unbelievable. I mean, there's not too many AFL games go around in Andrew McLeod's career when he doesn't have a one-on-one heavy tag. He hasn't got one today either, and I think he would relish that freedom. Just incredible. Peter Bell needs to tighten up forward of centre.
Chris Connolly working the phone with Aaron Sandilands. Connolly, game number 38, looking for win number 19 and the 10th of the season to equal the best by the Dockers. At the moment, though, not looking too flash. Bell to Shammer, knocked away by Stengline. Comes back to McLeod again, quickly to Bickley. Pardon, goes down towards Rutten, who takes the mark just inside the 50. Like the look of this youngster. There's Perry up ahead. Ben Rutten, already one goal.
The class of his opposition as well, Dennis, in Shane Parker. One of the best defenders going around.
Inside the last minute of the term, Rutten sets it up on the breeze. Has it got the carry? I think it has. They're celebrating in the square. He's got two. No
real science to that. Just got it forward from that centre bounce. It wasn't clear. but even they've just got an ability to get it forward. Bickley again, just getting it forward and giving a young player in Rutten a chance to be one out with his respective opponents. We know how fantastic they are in the clearances. Fremantle just need to nullify them there, so there's no clear win for Adelaide in this area.
Not a bad way to start your AFL career. Ben Rutten with a couple of opening quarter goals, and the Crows are out by 28 points in the final minute. This crowd of more than 30,000 are stunned. And the Crows, there might be time for some more. Rashudo. Long ball to half forward. Rutten doubling back against Parker, who provides the spoil. Well, there's a clever little toe poke out by Rutten. Bill rides the initial bump, gets pushed in the back, will win a free.
Rashudo 10 possessions, McLeod 10 possessions.
Parker. Now he's got a loose man in the middle. Cook gives it to him. Is there time for the Dockers? They've got 10 seconds. Cook, good ball. McManus has to get it on quickly. He does. Plays onto the left. And Farmer, can he take the mark? He can. And it'll be a kick after the siren for Jeffrey Farmer. He knows a bit about these. Although against the breeze, it will be difficult. If anything, though, the three-tiered stand might block out a little bit at that end of the ground.
Yeah, from that close in, the breeze is negated somewhat. Kick it a little bit lower than perhaps he normally would, though, all the same.
Dockers need this. They kicked the opening goal through Justin Longmuir 3 minutes in, but since then it's been all the Crows. Farmer, 48 metres out as he kicks, and it's a beauty. Distance, no problems.
To say that's good and bad news for the Crows, and as much as Farmer able to kick it that far into what we've said is a very strong breeze. Gary Ayres down on the ground, won 10 of 13 coaching against Fremantle. Quarter time, Crows on top.
Last week on White Line Fever, Geelong's David Spriggs.
Bomber goes, has a go at everyone, but I mean, at the end of the day, it probably helps most people.
Swan, Brett Kirk.
My wardrobe was full of the op-shot clothes, so yeah, he tagged me the hippie.
Collingwood's Jason Cloak.
When are you going to grow the mo like your old man?
I'll leave that to Dad, and I'll leave the mullet to him too.
And our very own legends.
Even though I officially retired last year, I've been out of the game for a few years.
Monday, Anthony Koutafidis and Russell Green join me to take your calls. That's White Line Fever live.
Seeing monsters.
Sony Handycam, available now at Harvey Norman.
La-da-da-dum. Your Telstra home phone now has a new free way to take messages. Telstra Home Messages 101. It takes messages if you miss a call or the line's busy. To turn on or get your messages, just dial 101.
Don't touch that orange bottle, it's my hair removal spray.
Telstra Home Messages 101. It's free. Dial 101 from home to turn it on.
Sony NetMD Walkman, available now at Harvey Norman.
Tell me, mate. Why do they grunt like that?
Was it for extra power or like commitment to a shot, or was it just to put the other player off?
Mate, you're not wearing comfy undies.
All right.
Bond's hipster trunks. Very comfy undies.
Sky News, Australia's news channel.
When it comes to AFL players...
They're smart, gorgeous and have impeccable sporting pedigrees.
Yes, but what about the things we don't know?
But I'm quite dazzled by your engagement ring.
Tuesday, want the inside goss on AFL?
So after footy, you off to the Bahamas working with Elle?
Then ask the women who live with the players.
Bit of a mullet thing going on.
How do you say I love you in Polish?
I love you.
Living with footballers. Tuesday at 9, only on Fox Footy Channel.
Quarter time at Subi, the margin 22 points. Fremantle the first and last goals in that term, punctuated by 5 from the Adelaide Crows. Farmer after the siren for the Dockers second. Let's go down to the boundary. Mark Reddings is with Chris Waterman.
Yes, Chris, I guess Adelaide goal pretty important. Adelaide could have been further in front.
Yeah, I think they let us off the hook a little bit there. We just got to get the ball out of the centre a bit quicker. We fumbled a little bit and they capitalised on our mistakes.
Plan with the win in the second quarter?
Oh, just to make sure when we get it, use it pretty quickly and get in there and give the forwards a chance.
You have a pair of handcuffs for Rashudo and McLeod?
Oh, we know they're good players, but they've sort of capitalised on a couple of our fumbles in there, and then they're pretty quick out of the box. If we can just get our hands on it first, we'll stop them getting it.
Thanks, Chris.
2 other games being played today. In fact, one is over. Replays are scheduled. If you don't wish to know the score, I suggest you look away now. Set to go for the second quarter then, and Fremantle with a bit of work to do, but certainly their task made all the better by Farmer's late goal, and that was a magnificent kick after the siren. But generally the Crows have looked sharper in the shadows of the late pylon. As you can see, we start this second term, flicked down to the back of the pack by Simmons. Pavlich unloads on the breeze inside the 50. Bassett flew from behind. Laddams camped in front in his own defensive area, swings it out wide towards the boundary, and there he is, Mr. Reliable.
Yeah, I reckon he's starting the centre bounces at centre half back, and then in general play again is just coming in and picking up Matty Pavlich.
Hart kicks towards the wing. Simmons, no, didn't leave the ground. Perry was the flyer. John Cock tried to trap it. Tawney spins out of a would-be tackle, lays it off to John Cock, 75 metres out, kicks to the lead, right in front. His strength is worrying Shane Parker.
It was a lovely kick from John Cock, but he's making all the right moves, isn't he, the young fellow? And his first match, just a beautifully weighted kick. Then Rutten made the kick look very good as well, but without the precision of that kick, there would be no mark. And I tell you, I reckon Rutten, if he gets in front, he's one of those guys who's very, very difficult to stop. Shane Parker, I reckon, might change his tactics midway through this match.
Like being behind a caravan on the freeway. In comes the kick from Rutten, and he sneaks it home. Great start, as the Dockers did in the opening term.
They are just getting their hands on the footy around the clearances. I know Fremantle got the first clearance out there through Matty Pavlich. I think that's the area they need to be dominant in this quarter, which is difficult to do against the number one side, that competition. He just knew where Shane Parker was there the entire time there, Rutten. That's just great awareness and great man-on-man body skills. Good finish as well.
We needed the injuries to Stevens and Carey to get to see Rutten in that forward line.
Welsh?
Yeah, wouldn't have been playing otherwise. 3 goals in his debut as the Dockers get the second centre clearance for the quarter, but the Crows are going to come right back at them. Laddams towards half forward. Perry against Parker, wearing him well. Headland now for Hazelby. Bell twisting and turning. heading the wrong way. Hurries it to the wing where Rashudo has the sit. Nice pickup. And Hart will send the Crows forward again. Delivery to McGregor. Nudged out of it nicely by McFarlane, doubling back. Good mark. The kick, well, between a couple.
Oh, well done.
Hart never took his eyes off the footy, and that's a wonderful result for the Crows.
Gee, just attacked the footy then, had to get between two Freo players. Good mark from McFarlane there, but well done from Benny Hart.
Adelaide by 28 points. Early stages, quarter number 2. Overcast now here at Subiaco as Bigland's a deft touch for Rashudo. Handball intended for Burns. He's there to apply the tackle on Cook. It's going nowhere. We'll have another bounce.
It's interesting, the top 4 possession getters on the ground, they're all playing on one another. Hazelby 12's got Rashudo 12. Peter Bell 9's on McLeod with 10.
It's a science. Simmons knocks it down, intended for Bell, showed courage, quickly came over the top. Free kick to Bell. Untidy hand pass, but Cook meters in the clear. Left centre wing, takes on Bickley. That's ambitious. Very untidy hand pass, and guess who got it? McLeod to Bickley. Wrong man. Bickley kicks inside the 50. McFarlane favoured by the kick. Came across on the angle in front of the leading ruck and took the mark. Swings it to Bell. Simmons is on further down the ground. They'll use him now. Simmons, the big fellow, can take it and go. Runs through the wing, looks towards half forward. Cook stood his ground, made to win it. Stingline arrived a step late. Cook dishes it off. Headland 75 metres from goal. Good talking. Obviously Farmer said something to Midhurst. Midhurst backed off and Farmer took the mark on his chest.
That's what Desi Headland needs to do. I reckon when he's got the ball in his hands, say 70 metres from goal, he has the ability to make a forward look good. You're right there, Dennis. Both Medhurst and Farmer had the opportunity to get on the end of that pass. It was a nice little spot up from Des. He's good on left and right.
Jeff Farmer should be feeling confident. In he comes. He's got his second.
The forward thrust was generated from Troy Simmons' run in the midfield. I reckon when he's getting the ball there, you see Troy Cook copping a heavy one there. He dished it off to Des. But Troy Simmons in midfield, I think that's an area where he can get on top of Biglands and Clark just through his hard run. Looks like Robbie Hadrill as well has moved on to Rutten. Shane Parker coming out to Ian Perry at centre half forward.
So Farmer's second brings it back to a 22-point margin. Dockers controlling the air here, 12-4 now, 13-4 in the hit-outs. And they're winning the clearances. Shammer for Pavlich. The big man backs himself. Gives it to Carr. Has Shammer in support. Might go himself. On the left from 45 for another one. And that's got the local fans excited as Carr finishes in style.
And they're just starting to get on top. Maybe it's the breeze having a factor, but Troy Simmons initially at that centre bounce. But well done by Matty Pavlich. Just put the ball under his arm and got another 10 metres or so. Matthew Carr, nice finish on his non-preferred, his left. But I guess the guys that were down a little bit in that first quarter, like Carr and Pavlich, starting to generate some run midfield.
Two in a hurry. As the Docker fans getting involved. And they are winning it out of the middle. Big ones this time. Getting the hand to it first, but the Dockers will clear it again. Pavlich very close to being a downfield free, and McManus. Oh, what wonderful hands. A legs to play on. 49 metres out. He goes along and misses to the near side.
Gee, it had to be very close. Bigland's dishing one out there. Matty Pavlich coming over having a word to him after that incident. Thought it would have been a downfield free.
I think the Dockers have discovered the breeze. They're enjoying it just at the moment. Putting the big kicks off. Here's Simmons close to the boundary line. Hazelby with him. Out of bounds. Fair bit there.
Bit of body weight, wasn't there?
Absolutely. Behind the pack. They'll be called back. It's going to be a free kick to Biglands, who just moments ago was the bad guy. So he's at right half back. Interesting duel, Biglands and Simmons. Edwards kicks it up towards the wing, stretching Burton. Suddenly, this game in the balance. Adelaide 6-5, Fremantle 4-2, and plenty of time. Wind assisted for the Dockers. Next goal, pretty important in the timing of it too. Hazelby in front, away to Farmer. In goes McGregor, popped it up to Parker. Parker, the defensive side of the wing, goes to half forward. McManus. How about that? A squat in mid-air, used his body brilliantly, plays on, kicks it down towards full forward, how will it bounce? Obligingly for Longmuir. Down goes Smart. Longmuir fumbles the football. Trying to pick it up now, still he goes, could have been legged. Shammer pushes it along the boundary line, spots Headland, tries to pull it back. Well done, Stingline. Headland knocked it away, taken by Medhurst. He goes down towards full forward. Longmuir, what a hand to it. And again, couldn't hang on.
You just get the feeling if they can get it in deep, one-on-one with Justin Longmuir on Smart, Justin's got the ability to take that unusual grab.
Well, they're doing all the attacking at the moment as the Crows bring it back in via Tawney. Now Laddams with some run out of half-back. Target towards midfield, very good hands.
He gives a contest, doesn't he?
Now they've left that forward 50 open for the man from the goal square, McGregor, to lead into. He's worn well by McFarlane, good spoil. Pavlich takes it. We'll give it back to McFarlane. If he can get it on quickly, he's got loose men on the outer wing. He couldn't get it in that direction. In the end, it doesn't matter. He backed himself. Goes towards McManus, goes to ground, and well, that was a very late whistle. Helped by the crowd, no question.
Do you reckon he's realised where the ball's landed?
Umpire McBurney was front on to that.
Oh
dear.
He's realised it's in number 23's hands. I better make a decision.
McManus, not 15. Play on the call. Carr onto the left. Delivers very wide. Effective. And Medhurst now can begin to get involved.
Good comeback from Matty Carr. Had a couple of goals kicked on him in that first quarter through Burton. Still has his hands full with Burton, but he's kicked a goal and now dished one off to Medhurst, or a shot for Medhurst. A good play.
His only previous kick this afternoon, Paul Medhurst, that hurried behind from a moment ago. So this will do his confidence no end of good. And it would bring it back to an 8-point margin after it was 28 some 10 minutes ago. Has to convert. 45-degree angle. That's the view from the boundary line, and it's a pretty good view for the Dockers. Medhurst has his first.
And the back line at Freo was a good run through, from the back pocket and through centre half back from McFarlane initially. Looks good when he's taking the game on from back there, and got the ball forward pretty quickly into this area. Likes kicking him on his left, Matthew Kay, even though he's a natural right footer. I reckon Gary has been thinking about getting Matthew Clark into the ruck. Troy Simmons has been generating a lot of ball forward out of the centre area this quarter for Freo.
Exciting play. Luke McFarlane moments ago to set it up from the back. Very talented youngster. Back from Hawthorn last season. Hazelby to half forward. Medhurst. Got it away to Coots, upended, spills wide. Bell's got it. The Dockers have got the numbers. Headland takes the mark. Well, it's not a mark. It's a free kick. A tough afternoon is this. Don't touch the umpire, Paul. It's pretty heated in there. Will it be 50? I don't think so. No. Well, that's... he's indicating there he paid the mark. Oh, that's... Yes. Good thing he's not on point duty. 7-car pilot. Headland. "35 metres out, 45-degree angle. Should kick it. Tight. He likes it though. Looks back over the shoulder and gets the okay.
And good comeback. Kicked the last 4, and it's really been a game of dominance out of the middle. Adelaide in that first term were clearly dominant in that area. Oh, dear me.
It concerns you, Ben.
Oh, that was, I mean, I know the slow-mo doesn't help, but...
Clyde Edwards?
Might be looked at. So Matthew Clark actually coming into the ruck, so Biglands is taking a rest. Gary is realising that Freo have been dominant out of the middle this quarter.
They've won all 5 centre clearances in this second term, the Dockers. The ruckmen both miss it there. McLeod shovels it forward for the Crows. Carr goes to ground. Perry with the tackle will have a bounce. Well, it's game on, isn't it? 4 unanswered Docker goals. And Hayes will be now the leading ball winner on the ground.
He's man to second.
Stop that.
Can't help it.
Burton heading for the boundary line. Crowd won't deliver it. That won't be paid.
I was at the Gabba last week, so don't start me up.
Yeah, the rules occasionally change from one week to the next. Not that we'll hear it officially. Well, not the rules, the interpretation.
That's right.
Clark and Simmons from behind. Rashudo burrowing forward. Long ball. Deep to the pocket from McGregor, and he touches it before it's over. Boundary throw in. This is why we need 4 boundary umpires. This poor man, some 60 metres away. Gets it now as McGregor wanders back to the goal square.
They can kick goals from here. They're very good at these stop plays, Adelaide.
Deep in attack. Clark, Burns, dangerous. Bode, Burns, Ronnie, good finisher. And he's got it. They're very good at those situations. Burns gets his opening goal. The Crows are out by 8 points here on Fox Footy.
And what they do, they put dynamic players around these contests. You saw Bode, McLeod, as well as Ronnie Burns around there. They're all very, very quick to get to top pace, and they can whack the ball on their boot very quickly only after a couple of steps. So that's one of the reasons, as well as a leading ruckman, that they're capable of scoring from those situations.
7-5, plays 6-3, midway through the second term. Good game of footy. Plenty of run, plenty of scoring. Simmons down to Bell, to Cook, gets the arms free. Headland on the burst. Thought about it, now he goes for Longmuir. And that's the sort of mark that Ben was talking about before. Expect the unexpected with Justin Longmuir. That was no easy grab. It was a concertina effect in that pack. They were coming back, they were coming forward, and somehow he juggled it down.
Yeah, they're not conventional, are they? He's just got that ability. He's been down in confidence, and a lot has been spoken this week in the press, and also there's been a real focus on goal kicking at Fremantle training this week. But Medhurst, Farmer and Longmuir have come under real scrutiny. But I think it's just a confidence thing and getting the balls in the right area for them. Give him a chance to fly at the footy in the air, or Longmuir a chance.
And his second goal, lovely kick, working it back on the breeze. They're trading goals at Zuby.
Headland just starting to come into the game. Much prefer him getting the ball forward of centre because he can kick the ball into the right spots. Peter Bell, nice little left-hand handball from Cook to get Headland free, or I think started from the half-back line running forward. As you saw Dennis just call that mark from Justin. Nigel Smart just couldn't go with him in the end.
Well, the margin is back to 2 points. Sun shining once more. Again, the ruckmen spoil it for one another. Hazelby battering it out in front of Bell. Unable to control it, but putting a pretty good tackle on Rashudo. Will have a bounce between the centre and centre-half forward for the Dockers. Nearly halfway through this second quarter. Clark trying to shield off Simmons, who works his way to the front. Farmer couldn't find the opening. Hart, quick hands for Rashudo. Good spoil. Des Headland getting involved. Rashudo again. Out in front of McLeod. This spells danger for the Dockers. The bounce made him wait for a moment. Goes to centre half back. This is Henschel in just his third AFL game. Has loose men short. Stenglein, Tawney, Good build-up. Again, room for McGregor to lead. Tawney goes towards him. McGregor unable to get there. Averill nearly took a one-hander. And we'll have a bounce at half forward for Adelaide.
Have a look at that again.
Very nearly a circus trick for him.
But nice little change of direction deep in defence from Andrew McLeod. That's the reason why this ball is deep in attack for the Crows.
Sandilands winning it down. Burns going without it. Clark for Henschel. Caught by Walker. Burns again under enormous pressure. Ball going nowhere for the time being. Umpire letting them play. Eventually it'll come out the Dockers' way. Cook did the hard work. Peter Bell does the sprinting work. And he'll get it back from Hazelby. Now Polak. Out in front of Medhurst. Can he get there? He did well enough. He's got McManus on. Quick of mind, fleet of foot to get it to him. McManus to the hot spot. Longmuir at the target. Farmer to Rove. Some holding on. Advantage play on. A Farmer goal. His third, and the Dockers are in front.
Good sit-up play, wasn't it, from Peter Bell? Just sheer hard running and good skills as well in a dangerous position. The ball eventually came through Sean McManus. Nice little underground kick from Medhurst. But Nigel Smart now starting to worry about Longmuir. That's where the free kick was for holding. When you get a dominant forward, that's what defenders tend to do. Would have been Longmuir's set shot if Farmer hadn't played on to kick that.
So the Dockers by 4 points. What a good game of footy. End-to-end stuff. The Stakes bringing out the best in players from both these teams. So much to play for. Sandilands backhands it down. Hazelby missed it, not so McLeod. Here's the hand pass away to Burton. He's been quieter in this term. He goes down towards half forward. Perry will need to stretch, and he does. Takes the mark at his chest. Right half forward. Wheels around. Centering kick. Down towards full forward. Going back. McFarlane. Again short of Rutten. Swung out wide. Hazelby. Carr is on. Now we'll give it to Carr. Time the release well. Carr can run to the 50 and score here. He can run inside the 50. He will line it up. Deliberately puts it to boot. Tries to work it back. The body, English says, it's a goal. His second.
Ball's come out of Adelaide's forward half there very, very quickly. That is a worry. Went out to Hazelby initially. He was in open space. Probably no one within 25 metres. He took the game on and dished it off. That's good play. But yeah, as an Adelaide forward, you'd like, if the ball's in your area, to retain it in that forward half for as long as possible. But that one came out a lot, came out too easy, didn't it? And that contest, Carr and Burton, I'd say that's a nil or draw at the minute, 2 goals each.
We've got a few of those.
Yeah.
What an exciting afternoon here. Sandilands gets his hand to it. Rashudo bustling his way through. Laddams towards half forward in front of Perry. The bounce not favourable. Getting back is Hayden. Wheels onto the left. Took his full quota of time. Pavlich unable to control it. Rashudo once more. Winning plenty of touches, as is McLeod. They're waxing it now. Rashudo to deep to full forward. Pushed out of it smart. No whistle. The whistle for McFarlane's mark. Brings it to half-back. Grover has Bell peeling off. Gives it to him now. Bell goes into the shadows. Looks upfield for Medhurst. Delivers to him. Medhurst on the lead has got it. He goes short. Good ball. Now Cook. In turn to Carr. Oh, he might end up with number 3. Crowd 150 against Bassett, it's not there. Carr will go back and line it up for his third.
Spectacular.
It is end-to-end stuff here at Subiaco. And now the Dockers, who remember trailed by 28 points earlier this quarter, can lead by 16.
Incredible comeback, hasn't it? They've just continually backed themselves in all year, Fremantle, and I'm sure that was the message at quarter time. your hands on the footy and back yourselves in.
Matthew Carr, 40 metres out, kicks goal number 3. For only the second time ever, the Dockers with an 8-goal quarter against the Adelaide Crows, and we've only reached the 23-minute mark.
Both coaches ringing the changes. Sandilands had a little bit of a run in the centre bounce, and Fremantle continued its dominance there. Simmons now back on. The other change, McGregor has actually gone down to Justin Longmuir, with Nigel Smart going forward.
10-3, 7-5. The Dockers are surging. The Crows need to hold approaching half-time. Here's the bounce to restart play. Simmons back on the ground. Up he goes. Falls at their feet. Big ugly pack. Simmons, the snake owner. When you say that, it's probably politically incorrect. Let's call them significant others. Well, the bounce alongside the centre circle.
When we're interviewing him, we're not going to his place.
He's changed the snake laws in this state. Single-handedly. Knocked down by Clark. Trying to battle his way out there was Bode. Chips it down towards half-forward. Hayden brilliantly gathered. He's away. Hazelby is running. Kick goes in that direction. Hazelby, plenty of time to control it. Pavlich is on up the ground. He ignores that. Spots Headland. Can Bassett get there this time? Not in time. Thought better of it. Headland wheels around, takes on Bassett. Into Mines. Kicks into Bassett. Ricochets down towards the pocket. Cook found himself in space. Not the best kick in the world. Clears Longmuir. Still a live ball. Medhurst tries for the snap. The impossible angle. Springs to his feet. So approved.
It was a good kick from Hazelby to Headland. He realised just at the last second that Pavlich was getting covered by Ben Hart, and just changed his kick slightly, hit Headland on the half-forward line.
Edwards to Rashudo from the kick in. Do you mind someone like Paul Medhurst having that shot? Most players you'd suggest centre it.
No, he's allowed to do that.
Yeah. Rashudo with the Crows under enormous pressure now. And McGregor having to head back to try and stem the flow. Stengline out wide. Still plenty of time remaining before half-time. Crows now patient as Stengline towards the outer wing at the back. John Cott nudged off it by Hayden, caught by Bode, heads for the boundary line. We'll have a throw in. Matthew Bodes being for the Reds. Simmons behind Clark. McLeod getting a little gift there, hurrying it towards half-forward, bounces over Perry. McFarlane gets it eventually, under pressure. Bell about to be caught. Good handball for Hazelby. And a good kick out wide. Oh, Pollack took his eye off it, thought it was going to come undone, but eventually it basically fell in his lap.
Hasn't McFarlane been good for the Dockers? Just terrific back there. Rover has it. The Crows need the next goal. Woods up ahead. The run all from the Dockers. Headland from Walker has a bounce. McLeod almost got him, didn't get him. Kick down towards the pocket. Going back Longmuir. He didn't get it either. Down goes Bassett, close to the boundary line. McGregor, well, he kept it in. No, he didn't. The boundary umpire was not called into play. It was a free kick where Edwards played on wide of the mark and outside the boundary. Bit happening down in that pocket. The Bermuda Triangle. Henschel towards the outer side wing. Uncontested. The mark is taken by Rutten.
Plays on, feeding the hand pass off, and the Crows can get some run now. Laddams pops it in front. Stengline, good pick up. Decides to go long. One-on-one, Perry, Pollack. Support from Bowden Cook. Cook's caught. No chance to get rid of it. We'll have a bounce. Down to 3 minutes to play before half-time. Andrew McLeod lunging. Couldn't get Des. Crows deep in attack. need to stem the Dockers' run. Last 4 goals. Cloud pushed off it in the end by Bell. We might do it again. We will. Myron Shammer getting ready to check back into the fray. 10-4, plays 7-5.
Well, Simmons is very, very important. He's got to get his hands on the pill here in the air.
Clark against him, palms it in front of Rashudo, textbook stuff, and a textbook tackle from Hazelby. In the end, we're going to have a bounce. The umpire perhaps deeming Rashudo didn't have a chance to get boot the ball. The crowd thought otherwise.
He just carried him forward a little bit. It was well done by Hazelby. I think that's a fair enough decision.
Again, Crows pressing, Perry leaping high. Dockers with numbers, this is Cook. Charges out of defence, targets Coops, Tawney the spoil. Carr and Hazelby back there. Pavlich against Hart. Hazelby taken over the line by Burton, will have a boundary throw.
Hazelby, 18 possessions. Bounced back with a vengeance today. Quiet day last week against the Magpies. Clock running down to half-time.
Spent a lot of time forward last week, I thought, Dennis, but he's got his fitness level up again, Hazelby, so he can run out this game in the middle.
Clark lays it down deftly. Bickley charges in. Hazelby once more, surrounded, taken down. Some virtuoso performances from players on both teams so far. Hazelby showing 19 now, so they counted that last hand pass close to the boundary. Bell 17, Rashudo 19, McLeod 16. You want quality, well, it's rising to the top. And Snake Simmons is off the ground. Sandilands back on. Shammer's out there as well. Didn't see who came off for Shammer. Bounce in the shadows, close to the boundary line. Sandilands and Clark simply grab each other. Flicked out of there by Shammer. Tackled without the football. Burton will get the free kick. Burton lowered his colours in this term to Carr.
Minute 10 remaining. Burton long inside the 50. Excellent spoil. And it's taken on board. Stengline and Woods say hello to one another away from the fray.
Dion can look after himself too.
Close to Stengline there. Boundary throwing. Clark takes it. Has to get rid of it now. Finds space with a hand pass. That's in the back, is it? Yes. Dockers have a minute to go the length of the field.
Now, just butted up well the last probably 4 or 5 minutes back there, Freo. Unless a committed side would have seen Adelaide, I reckon, have a goal on the board just from those stoppages.
Cook drives it long to a contested half-back. Polak's in front. Good spoil by Perry. Stengline's tied up. We'll have a bounce which will chew up another 15 to 20 seconds, which will deprive the Dockers of a scoring chance. But the Crows will get one last crack. Led by 28 points a minute into this second term. They're down 17. So Sandilands winning it wide. Bell, Carr, Headland. Is there time? He loads it up, kicks the space at centre half forward, down to 7 seconds. McManus, can he get it on to Farmer? Does so now. Farmer slips at the inopportune time. Bassett wears him closely, and that's half-time in what has been a frenetic, frenzied half of football. And it's the Dockers who enjoy a 17-point lead.
8 goals coming in that second term. What an enjoyable game of football. If you like it open, if you like it fast and furious, this one is for you. You better stick around. Half-time at Subic. Fremantle 10-4. Adelaide 7-5.
Tonight, the Saints call up the Kangaroos at the Phone Dome. But have they got the X factor to hold the Roos head first run up the 8? St Kilda and the Kangaroos tonight on Fox Footy Extra.
To all Aussie export quality,
100% pure beef patties.
With no additives, no preservatives, no MSG.
Special sauce. Crispy garden lettuce.
Cheese made with cheddar and milk.
Pickles onions on a sesame seed bun. With an average of 400 sesame seeds.
Baked in Australian bakeries.
McDonald's new Big Mac Chan. Can you beat it out? Yeah, nice. Nice.
Do you make the first move? Or wait to be asked? Are you a lad or a snag? Do you make something of it? Or do you just keep walking? Do you stay? Or do you go? Do you change? Or do you stay true?
Founded in Vienna in 1923, Interpol is a sophisticated global organization.
We can speak now to 178 countries basically simultaneously.
We trace the organization's history from the early days during the Depression.
Globalization of crime means globalization of peace effort against crime.
Through the dark period of the Nazi takeover during World War II.
It was absolutely merciless.
To its present incarnation as a modernized agency battling organized crime and global terrorism.
It is an international recognized channel of communication for the police throughout the world.
From the files of Interpol, the world's most wanted, on the History Channel.
This winter, one movie channel will rule them all.
Movie One is screening the winter movie experience of your life.
Training Day, Serendipity, K-Pax, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
Destiny, sorcery, sexy, fantasy. Movie One's turned up the heat.
Someone call for a doctor?
That's if you can handle it.
Hearts in Atlantis, Captain Corelli's Mandolin, AI, Artificial Intelligence, Legally Blonde, Chocolat, Pearl Harbor.
Surrender yourself to a winter with Movie One.
Ocean's 11, Rockstar, The Others, Ali.
Need more?
Mulholland Drive, Zoolander, Blow, The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. The one place to be this winter is Movie One.
Watch the Bulldogs and Carlton on Dropkick on Fox Footy.
Get into the melee with Adrian Gallagher, Jared Waite, Robert Murphy and Russell Gilbert. Tuesday Night Footy on Fox Footy. Dropkick, 8:30 Eastern.
Just a great game of footy, this one so far. Fremantle lead by 17 points at the major break after they trailed by 22 at quarter time. The breeze certainly a factor. Carr bouncing back after Burton was so effective in the first quarter. 3 goals to Carr, 3 to Farmer, possibly his best outing of the season. And Rutten, the first gamer, has booted 3 for the Crows. So 10-4-64 to 7-5-47. Just looking back, this time last season, so much speculation about the future of the South Australian. Matthew Pavlich, well, of course, he stayed in Perth, he stayed with the Dockers, he signed for another couple of years after this one, and 2 young Perth fans are just so glad he did.
Hooks it back towards Pavlich, got it! He'll be lining up for his third goal in the corner.
He dishes to Pavlich, tries to go around Bear, goes one way, back the other from 48 metres out, goes for goal and puts it through.
Spirals it inside, 50 Pavlich, Foisey.
Just 21 years old and undeniably Fremantle's hottest property. The boy from Adelaide is flying high.
Here's the Pavlich, goal! Australia's got the goal they require!
All-Australian, club best and fairest, vice-captain and 2003 season standout, the only thing not going in Matthew Pavlich's favour is the fact that his mum, dad and a whole bunch of family are on the other side of the Nullarbor. And that's where Fremantle ruck coach Simon Eastaugh comes in. Following the lead of his former South Australian club Norwood, he started opening up his home to young interstate arrivals. Kangaroo Lee Brown was once a regular, and now Pav drops in for dinner once a week.
Oh, this is Thomas. Simon, of course, the good-looking fella. Sophie, Ella, and Alex. So, Ella actually claims that she's my girlfriend, but she gives me a kiss every now and then.
He may have shut down some of the AFL's toughest, but in the Eastall household, he's one big softie.
What have you been doing? Do you love your little sister? Yeah. You gonna give her a kiss?
This is Matthew's home away from home, a haven from the demands of being an AFL superstar, and a chance to escape the footy spotlight, if only for a few hours.
The fact that you can come here and the kids have no idea who you are, it's just, as Simon said, you're pav to them, and it's one of those things where, you know, it's a bit of fun for me. I like coming around and mucking around with the kids. I think I'm a bit of a big kid at heart, and I like having fun, so it's one of the things where they can come and jump all over me, and I don't mind one bit, as you can see.
Between training, playing, media work and university study, Matthew has little time to unwind. So for him, these weekly visits are top priority. A chance for him to relax, and sometimes even let loose.
Last year, actually, Lee Brown and myself cooked a meal for these guys, and we actually played a bit of a gag on them. Lee and I dressed up in aprons, and that was about it. So, a bit of a shock. Yeah, it was a bit of a shock to the system, I'm sure.
Dad, do you want me to cut your dinner up for you?
Yes, please.
Okay.
This time last year, Matthew Pavlich was smack bang in the middle of a very public bidding war, and speculation was rife that he would head home to Adelaide and family. But with high hopes for Freo's AFL future and the strong friendships he'd forged, the vice-captain decided to stick around, making a couple of pint-sized fans very happy indeed.
Yes, I won.
Yes, I
won.
No, I won.
Very competitive. 8 possessions to half-time for Matthew Pavlich. 2 other games being played today. In fact, both have finished now. Let's check the scores, but before we do, just the warning, replays are scheduled around various networks, so if you don't wish to know the score, the time now is to look away. Half-time at Subiaco Oval, Sunday afternoon football. We've got a beauty going at the present time. It's the Dockers by 17 points. In the next term, the Crows will have the breeze. Don't go away. Yes, the Dockers on top.
Game they've won this season. Tonight it's on again when the Dogs take on the Cats.
And he pulls another one out of the top 4.
A skilled stadium special. Geelong versus the Western Bulldogs tonight on Fox Footy Extra.
There's never been a fish finger as big as the crunchy new Mega Finger from I&J. Mate, why do they grunt like that? Is it for extra power or like commitment to a shot, or was it just to put the other player off?
Mate, you're not wearing comfy undies.
All right.
Bond's hipster trunks. Very comfy undies.
Go Harvey Norman for a great Sony Vega deal and big bonus offers including the Vega Rugby Supporters Kit. Buy now and you'll also receive installation of Foxtel or Ulster just in time to watch the Rugby World Cup. This 68cm Sony Vega flat screen stereo Trinitron TV with DVD input is yours for a low $11.99, including bonus Vega Rugby Supporters Kit and installation of Foxtel or Ulster. Now's the time to buy Sony Vega, and Harvey Norman's the place to buy.
Australia's news channel.
Last week on White Line Fever, Geelong's David Spriggs.
The bomber goes, has a go at everyone but me, and at the end of the day it probably helps most people.
Swan, Brett Kirk.
My wardrobe was full of the op-shop clothes, so yeah, he tagged me the hippie.
Collingwood's Jason Cloak.
When are you going to grow the bow like your old man?
I'll leave that to Dad and leave the mullet to him too.
And our very own legends.
Even though I officially retired last year, I've been out of the game for a few years.
Monday, Anthony Koutafidis and Russell Green join me to take your calls. That's White Line Fever live.
Dazzling game so far at half-time. Fremantle lead by 17 points. Carr 3, Farmer 3, and as you can see, first game, a rotten 3 goals for Adelaide. Seesawing affair midway through the term, then Fremantle got their act together. 8 goals in that second quarter.
Led by 28 points at one stage, the Adelaide Crows, before the Dockers came back, winning plenty of the ball through the midfield. The Stars shining. Hazelby with 19 touches. Peterbilt racking up 18 possessions. Cook and Des Headland, significantly Des Headland doing something when he gets the footy in that second term, setting up a few goals, while Mark Rashido and Andrew McLeod, as you would expect, leading the way for the Adelaide Crows. 35 touches between them. I tell you what, it's a roller coaster. Who knows how this one's going to unfold?
Well, the Dockers knew coming in that was going to be a problem. He got 10 in the opening term, but it's one thing knowing, as we said in the commentary, another thing stopping, and they couldn't do that.
McLeod magic it was. 10 possessions in the opening term. He was the architect for the Adelaide Crows. Look at him. You just don't know which way he's going to go. They say you should look at the hips. You've almost got to look and you've got to look inside his mind, Dennis, to know which way Andrew McLeod is going to go, as he can just dance his way through. He's had 16 touches to smother there off James Walker, and just doing plenty for the Adelaide Crows. He was the spark for them early, helping set up that 28-point lead. But then the Dockers came back.
That's right. We've got to talk about the Dockers. 8 goals in the second term, and they conceded the first one in that quarter as well.
They did, and you thought big question marks about the Fremantle Dockers and their mental aptitude of coming back, but there were no problems about it at all. And the key reason, winning the ball out of the centre clearances in that second term, a landslide. It was 6-1 Adelaide's way in the opening term, but the Dockers winning the first 5, and Matthew Carr, what a second quarter he had. He kicked 3 goals alone in that second term, as the Dockers string together a record-setting 8 goals second term.
Takes a bit of doing, doesn't it? Lower your colours in the first quarter and fight back as Matthew Carr did. Full credit to him, because Burton was red hot in the first quarter, but Carr got his measure, kicked some goals, and now demands attention. And this man, 3 goals to half-time.
And great presence of mind, knew that the free kick was going to go the Dockers' way and thought, well, look, let's play onto advantage, see if we can get it. And here's Matthew Carr again. A hand pass over the top from Hazelby, a couple of bounces, steadies, and what a beautiful finish from 45 metres out. And he rode that one home, as did the Docker fans. And boy, I tell you what, Dennis, it's good to see the Docker fans, the purple, out in prominence in the outer. They're enjoying things. 22 more kicks for the Dockers to half-time. We spoke about the possession-based style of game. The Dockers with 20 more marks to half-time. The Crows just shading them in terms of contested possession, and the inside 50s well and truly evening up in that second term after Adelaide at 16-6 at one stage.
Still a margin of 6 the Crows' way, which is a bit of a surprise there, but Fremantle coming to terms with things in that second quarter, as we said. Now the rain is starting to come down at Subi. Another imponderable we've got to factor in. So much going on in this one. As we said at the outset, the stakes are high. This is a terrific game so far. A lot to look forward to. The Dockers lead by 17 points, so the ball fairly and squarely in the court of the Crows.
Widespread. Oh, you won't say better than that. Their methods extreme. This is a crazy game. But when the weekend's over, bang, bang, they'll be the game's last hope. What have you said? Well, that's what we think. For a complete wrap-up of all the weekend's games, catch The Winners with Clinton Grivis, live 7:30 p.m. Eastern.
Meet Janet. She bought a Simpson washing machine and dryer and suddenly found the time to develop a killer backhand.
Next door, Teresa bought a Simpson dishwasher and now has time to discuss current affairs. Tanya bought a Simpson oven, and she then had the time to get to know the new neighbour, Tim. Simpson's time-saving features give you more time for life. Simpson, time for life.
There's never been a fish finger as big as the crunchy new Mega Finger from I&J.
I have this recurring dream. It reminds me of you.
Do you love me? I mean, really love me?
Now I want answers, and I want them now.
Let me see.
I want so much, I'm breathless.
How you doing? Project!
What do I need to know?
You believe in God?
The Movie Essentials on the Essential Movie Channels.
Are you kidding me? No, sir.
Once you've got them, you won't know how you lived without them. For all the Essential movies, upgrade now.
Yes!
Get your motors running, car freaks, for the craziest makeover show on TV. Take 2 teams, 2 motors, 5 days, and 1 shark to turn old bangers into beauties. Car Sharks, premiering during Makeover Month on the Lifestyle Channel.
Willisey Across Australia with Terry Willison.
It's current affairs television that puts you in the picture. Your chance to have your say and talk direct to the newsmakers on Talkback TV. I hope you can join me Monday to Thursday, 7:30 Eastern on Sky News.
It's the best 15 minutes of footy entertainment in the West.
Slow down.
The reserves usually kick the butts of the seniors.
You're a poet.
Byron Chandler kicks his first goal.
The latest news from Freo. The Freo Show, 6:45 Thursday.
Sunday afternoon at Subiaco Oval. I think the rain has stopped again. Just a brief passing shower. 10-4 plays 7-5. Dockers on top after they fell behind to the tune of 28 points early in that second term. Some exciting players on both forward lines. Mark Reddings is standing by. We'll come back to that in just a moment. Mark, what can you tell us?
Yes, Dennis. Well, the breeze has, if anything, strengthened to the left of the screen, which is good news for the Adelaide Crows. Robert Shirley, of course, that heavy knock. He has recovered, sitting on the bench. Won't take any further part in the game. For the Fremantle Dockers, just a blood wound for Troy Simmons just before half-time. He's been attended to. And Des Headland, a knock to the hip, a little bit unsteady, but gee, he seems to have recovered pretty well and playing a very prominent role in that Dockers revival.
Up forward for the Crows, they're missing a few big names, but Ben Rutten had a very nice debut. 3 goals to half-time.
Looked good on the lead, hasn't he, Dennis? And alongside him, they have made a strategic change there. Brett Burton will be at full forward alongside Rutten, and Justin Longmuir. Just that ability to take that one-on-one mark has been important for him, for his confidence, also his team. When he's kicking goals, I reckon Fremantle are a better team.
This will be interesting. Pollack is down there, as you can see, picking up Rutten. McFarlane out with Perry. And Burton down there as well. Some high flyers.
Begley on to Carr. I reckon that'll be a tag on the wing too, Den.
Yep. Hold your breath if the ball goes in high, left of screen. Away we go, second half. Push to the face there of Simmons. It comes back to him, slips a hand pass away to Pavlich. It spills across towards Parker. Strong tackle, eventually released the ball. Pavlich swings it wide to Bell. Gets a kind bounce, an unkind tackle. He bounced when he hit it, Bell. The first bounce was kind. Not so the second one. Rashudo like a clamp. How's that? Bounce. Simmons locks up there with Clark. Laddams. The hurried kick down towards half forward. Parker almost the mark. Fell at his feet. Found it again. Claimed by Smart. And the umpire's working overtime.
Crows win. They'll be second on the AFL ladder at the end of round 16. Dockers win. They'll have a final spot all but assured, and the critics surely silenced for good. And they'll win possession here on half-back. Cook for Pavlich, and his high, wide kick is far from handsome as it lands some 10 rows back. First couple of goals, absolutely vital, as we heard from Mark Prose. With the breeze at their back in this term, would have to be in front. You would fancy by three-quarter time. Henschel towards Perry at half-forward, and read very well by McFarlane. The breeze just drifting it beyond Perry. Now Peterbilt, the skipper away. Possession number 19, just a stab kick to midfield from Medhurst. See whether or not he's come up the ground a bit to get involved in this third quarter. Long ball to Longmuir at half-forward. McGregor against him now. Good spoil. Begley spent most of the first half on the bench for McGregor, for Rashudo. As Laddam's riding shotgun for him. Soft turf there along the members' wing. Laddams towards Burton and Perry, and the boundary line will win out. Throw in half-forward for the Crows.
Pretty versatile player, isn't he, Burton? Not many players, I wouldn't think, are capable of going from wing to full forward in one match.
McBurney, Ellis, Jeffrey, the men in charge. Dockers by 17 points. Clark in front, Simmons from behind. Clark again, Rashudo. We've mentioned he's dangerous. Snaps from 45, touched on the line. Great defensive work. Hadrell getting back there to save the day for the Dockers.
Again, just another shot at goal generated from a stop player boundary throw in. They're very good at it.
And the Crows happy to concede that, and the boundary umpire 50 metres away.
He guessed.
He had no chance, but it's got to be 4 boundary umpires. Parker to Hazelby. Dockers go to the outer side. Bell and Burton. At ground level, you fancy Peter Bell, although Burton is quick. The boundary line wins out. Between wing and half-forward, outer side for the Adelaide Crows. 15 degrees at the moment. We've had a spot of rain or two. Nothing too significant. Simmons from behind. Carr for Pavlich. Neat little sidestep around half. Now, if it sits in front for Henlon, he'll be away. It does, and he is. 55 out and closing. Farmer slipped. Edwards did. He slips away. Loose man on the outer wing. This is promising. It's Bickley, and the Crows can go.
Ups. Kicks inside the 50. Opportunity there.
Good for
the big man Rutten taken down. Well done, Woods. Tight situation. Walker, Polak, Cook. Well played to Hazelby on the bounce on the outer side. Comes back to Woods. Polak on for the short one. He's got it now, close to the boundary line. Hazelby had to hesitate. Goes forward. Plenty of run with these Dockers, more so I'd suggest from the Crows. Cook upended as he kicked towards half-forward. Begley went back with courage, spilt the mark, confronted, kept his head, got it away to Edwards. Now Edwards finds some time. Short one, Rashudo in the space. He can take it and go. Laddams has to hesitate inside the centre square. Rashudo runs on. Back it comes to the captain then from 60 metres out. And the defender lost Burton. That was Hadrell. He turned a full circle there, Robbie Hadrell. Burton plays on. No, he doesn't.
Why would you anyway from 20 metres out?
It's the thrill of the chase.
I like the look of Laddams as well. He's up to 12 possessions. Probably one little player that can get under the guard of the Oppo, but he's been pretty good linking midfield. Farmer coming off and Grover on.
Interesting. Burton going at his third. 20 metres out. I think he might have missed.
Justin.
Very tight. Goal.
Again, both sides have had an opportunity to get the ball deep inside 50. Again, we talked about his versatility, Burton, from wing to full forward. He started his career as a forward, but you just see there Robbie Hadrell. He lost Burton in the man-on-man stakes, and when you do that, you've actually got to focus on the ball. And Robbie did neither on that occasion, so it was an easy, well, basically an uncontested mark in the end.
Three goals for Brett Burton. Good return this afternoon to this point. 10 points. The lead now for the Dockers. Bell caught by Rashudo, might have a second bounce as Hart's brought down by Simmons, and umpire McBurney eventually provides the whistle.
Loose man in defence for both sides. Matthew Carr is dropping back. I think that's good coaching. Make it difficult for Adelaide at the scoring end. Bassett, it appears, is free for Adelaide, just right of this pack.
Now, about 14 players within 10 metres of this bounce as Rashudo's tied up by Hazelby. Laddams again, getting another possession, hurries it in front of Perry and McFarlane at the back. Smart, oh, wonderful give, the Ronnie Birds, 50 out, goes along to the goal square. Has it got the carry with the breeze? Not quite. Out to the left of behind. Crow's turn to begin to pepper away as Jeff Farmer gets ready to come back on.
Very brief stay on the bench. Short one to Walker in the pocket. 10-4-8-7. The Crows needing to use the breeze effectively. So Grover off the ground. One wonders about that change. Maybe some running repairs on Farmer. Meantime, the kick out of defence. Stenglein missed it. Fell behind. Hacked out of there by Simmons. Gained about 25 metres. Doctors lead in all directions. Headland gets a hand pass into the path of Pavlich. Pavlich through midfield. McManus takes it on the bounce. Pavlich runs on. Goes inside the 50. This could be inspirational. No, he misses. Hangs it out to the right.
It was quick ball movement all the same, wasn't it? Clean hands initially from Headland, getting it out into open space, and great hands from Sean McManus off to Pavlich.
Bassett brings it back into play quickly. Now Hart's got the sit on Pavlich and takes the mark. 10-point Dockers lead. On the long lead, Perry, nudged out of it subtly by McFarlane. Carr provides the Shepherd. McFarlane along the boundary line on the wing. Wobbly one towards half forward. Effective McManus out in front of Hazelby. Bickley in hot pursuit. Dockers have some numbers if it can spring clear. That was fair, says the umpire. McManus towards Longmuir and McGregor. Recovery important. Longmuir better. Onto the right. Hurries a kick at goal. Misses to the near side.
Just the ball coming into Longmuir initially from McManus just happened to be popped up in the air.
Well, some heated words exchanged between Medhurst and Longmuir as well.
He was free in the square, Medhurst, so wasn't he?
He was indeed. Laddams, whether of course Longmuir had a chance to see him. That's the burning question. Henschel on the wing. Does nicely. Poised. Could have been touched off the boot. Wanders down towards half forward. Perry up in front. McFarlane, the master of the nudge at the moment, goes to ground that time. Parker stepping over the fallen pair. Still got the footy. Must be holding it, umpire. McLeod was hanging on in there somewhere. I could see his knuckles.
And Burton's one out deep with Robbie Hadrill.
McLeod, 55 metres out. Dockers need a couple of extras down in the square, I'd suggest. This not beyond him. If he starts it out right, the breeze will bring it back. Well, he ignores my advice and goes towards the middle.
Can get there.
Polak knocked it down in front to Beckley. Floats one of his patented kicks towards the line. Helped across by McFarlane. Sometimes he doesn't quite get them in the screws.
Grade 8 plays 10-6. Bell out wide. Possession number 20 coming up. Hazelby with 23 leading the way for the Dockers. The game leader, Rashudo, with 24. That had to be precise and was. Carr takes the mark. Ball's deflected away. Crowd 150.
They're just chipping around here. They're very patient, just waiting for someone to pop up. They're never in a rush deep in defence, Freo.
Soaking up some time against the breeze as Headland thought he was going to misjudge that, but a late lunge takes the mark. Drifts it out wide for Walker. Onto the wing. Good ball. This is good. Parker has some room. One bounce. Can go a second. 50 out. Runs into trouble. Eventually gets rid of it to Cook. Well, it was unconventional, and in the end it was very disappointing for Chris Connolly and the Dockers. That was the Dockers of old, Dennis. You were enjoying that circa 98, wasn't it?
The Keystone Dockers. Kick in. Here's Bickley. Beyond half back. Tentative bounce. Spots Perry. Gets it to him inside the centre square. Perry wasting no time. At least gets back quickly. Now forced to hesitate.
McFarlane in front of Burton. Make it hard making it hard for him to lead into open space.
Yes, Perry's man, McFarlane, has drifted back. That's an ambitious kick. Just gets there. Carr couldn't hold him up. Now they've got a problem. McLeod runs towards the 50. Miscues with a kick, most unusual. Burton the fumble. Ditto close to the boundary line twice. And across the line it goes.
99 times out of 100, you'd expect that to hit Burton right on the chest.
Both of them in the clear. Burton had the break on Hadrill. Rashudo 24, the game high. Simmons down in front. Woods needs to be careful. Did well in a tight situation. Kicks play back towards the wing. Some pushing. Bassett not involved. Took a clean mark.
Gives it on to Bigley quickly, and the Crows can build. Delivers out wide. Smart leading out and takes a good mark. He lost his man there. And Nigel Smart moving forward about midway late in the second term. Good kick from Bigley in front of him. And now Smart can line up for his first.
Showing his versatility as well. Had his hands full with Justin Longmuir in the second term. But again gone forward or drifted forward and been a good target down there this quarter.
Has kicked just 3 goals for the season. Starts this one out to the right. It's not coming back.
Defied physics.
1 goal for the return for the Crows this quarter as Byron Shammer gets some work done on the lower back.
Got a sore back. He actually did the same as Scotty Walsh in a weight training session, Byron Shammer, during the week.
So far today, limited time for Shammer against the team he barracked for as a kid. And there's Hadrill to bring it in. Defensive side of the ground. Not a good kick. Goes sideways. Clears the initial pack. Clark leads back to Stengline. Burns camped in front. Dangerous. Burns, the opportunist. A look of resignation on Chris Connolly.
Well, the balls have gone left to right to this end, Dennis, which is a little unusual, isn't it?
Yep. Now Ronnie likes the difficult. In he comes. Slides it right across the face. They'll compete about 5 metres out, and Hadrill joins the high flyers and gives it straight back to Burns, who's 15 metres closer. A look back over the shoulder from Bell. I'm trying to lip read, so excuse me for about 60 seconds.
Still a difficult shot for Ronnie, given the fact he is a left footer. Don't give the goal away, though.
Decidedly easier than his previous attempt, and he puts it through. Well, has he? Yes, he has. Just.
They have had a fair bit of replay, haven't they, this quarter, Adelaide, and it has continued in the tradition of this game. The side going to the left of screen have been dominant in the clearances. That's a great grab, but gee, just cough it up. Disappointing, isn't it? And all Fremantle, I think, this quarter would be looking to do would be equal in these clearances. So Troy Simmons has a big ask in front of him for the rest of this quarter.
It's game on again. Here's Paul Medhurst. Gets some treatment. Margin 4 points. Clark for McLeod. Charging through Peter Bill. Handball deflected by Bickley, and Bigley's tied up. We'll have a bounce. Heading towards 9 minutes remaining, quarter number 3. Crows trying to become the first visiting team to win at Subiaco this season. A bounce favouring Laddams. Got it on to Bickley. Out in front of Burns and Walker. Walker will get there first on half back, and happy to see it over for a boundary throw-in. 10-7 plays 9-9. The Dockers winning just 2 of their last 5 matches entering this game. The Crows in a form streak, having won 6 of 7. They only lost by less than a goal. But they're in a real arm wrestle here. Cook unable to control it, got pushed in the back by Nigel Smart. He'll win the free kick on half-back. Dockers with 14 free kicks, the Crows 10. Now Bell wants to switch it to the outer side of the ground where there's some space. Coops. Kick had just enough on it. Coops wants to keep on running. Risky ball for Shammer. Tawney against him. And the interception goes to ground.
Well done.
Shammer's got him. Good second effort. Crows still get away though. Laddams now for Beckley. They've got an open forward line. Back for Begley. He can run. Closes to 65. Out in front of Burton. Hadrell to beat. Burton at the back. Kept his footing. Hadrell good defence. Burton in front. Can he weave by him? He will. On the boundary line. 35 out. Closing. Keeps it low. Would have been a wonderful goal. It isn't. It's a behind, and the margin is 2 points.
There's Des and Stengline. Des had a very good second quarter. Gary Ayres realising that and putting his number one tagger on him.
A win today. Adelaide moved to second. Kick off from Hadrell. The Dockers win. Unlikely they can go anywhere on the ladder, but they can go to the finals, you would suspect. Walker got it back to Bell. Kicks it around the outer side. Magnificent grab by Simmons. Plays on immediately. Cook is away. Forward of half back down towards half forward. Storming up the ground. Longmuir in the opposite direction. Corney played it brilliantly. But the hand pass is smart. Under pressure, McGregor spills off the side of the boot. Now the Crows have got a problem. Pavlich has got the football. Steadies. Kicks long. Longmuir favoured by the kick. Well done, McGregor. Got back, angled the punch away, and out it goes.
It was a good second effort, wasn't it, from Longmuir? He actually put that initial tackle on and then bolted back with the flight of the footy, sucking the big breath. So as you can see, he's worked hard the last minute.
Dockers without a goal this quarter. Nearly 18 minutes of playing time. Deep in attack here, Longmuir and Clark. Longmuir has to be creative. Bickley. Good pick up under enormous pressure. Rashudo loads up the talk, gives it plenty. Now Rutten with a couple to beat, does well. The rookie, the first gamer. The Henschel, the third gamer. Back for Rutten, goes without it. Oh, what a pickup from McLeod. And in the vision to Begley. Loose men streaming forward to his right. Can he see them?
No.
No, he doesn't. Eventually he finds one of them coming forward. Rutten, can he pick it up? He tried to knock it on, knocked it into the boot of Hadrell. Luck's a fortune for the Dockers. They dodge a bullet there. Walker. Risky short ball. Polak equal to it. Boy, it's heart-sink bounce stuff here at Sumi. A thriller in the third term.
Hazelby's away. Kicks it up towards half forward. McManus had it fisted away. Camped in front Beckley. Plays it off. The run came from McGregor. Or was it Bassett? Bassett got it over the top. Pulled back towards the middle by Henschel. And it's taken now by Burns. Little chip inside the 50. Perry.
Takes it hard, doesn't he, Perry? I mean, in the air, McFarlane has been fantastic getting fist on the footy. But, gee, if he throws that many hard leads, Perry, he is going to be eventually rewarded.
So unlucky just moments ago, the Crows. The foot of Hadrell denying them. Burton was behind. And behind him, an open goal. Cooks off the ground. Ian Perry knows this ground pretty well. Starts outside the 50. Goal kicking hasn't always been his strong point. And he comes from 40. It's going a long way right, but it's okay. It's a goal.
Crows with the lead. And we'll be talking about that on Fox Footy during the week. If you've got something to say, give me a call. Weeknights, White Line Fever. From 7:30 Eastern, Anthony Koutafidis, one of my guests tomorrow night. Don't forget, On the Couch with Mike, Jared and Robert straight after Grant Thomas, coach of the Saints, to join them. They'll be talking about this game and a whole lot more on Fox Footy. Time on period, quarter number 3, the lead is 3 points.
Yeah, McLeod just spent a little bit of time this quarter on the half-forward line, coming into the middle for this final burst this quarter.
Dockers will attack the scoring end with the breeze in the last turn. Simmons sending them to centre half forward. Medhurst goes to ground. Crows to get their first Stengline. Tied up by Shammer. Good pressure. Medhurst a chance. Free kick going to the Crows. Shammer lingering in the tackle on Stengline.
Gee, smart free on the outer wing.
Good call, Ben. Stengline sees him. Kick was a high one. Smart had to wait a moment. Takes it anyway. Rashudo makes Bickley work. Parker, good pressure. Headland brought down by Ronnie Burns. And a bounce to the Crows attacking side of the outer wing. Adelaide by 3 points. As we check some of the stats, the Crows have been inside 50 12 more times than the Dockers for the match. Clark in front, knocks it in front of Rashudo. Possession number 27, deep inside 50, bounce kind for Perry. Ronnie Burns ducks his way past Hayden, finds an opening, and will finish it in style.
Wonderful.
Ronnie's got his steal. And the Crows, with a 4-goal-to-none quarter, now lead by 9 points.
And what a brilliant set play that was on that outer wing. Clark down to Rashudo, just got it in there as quickly as he could. Just Perry actually initially came out hard and dished it off to Burns, who, gee, how many times have we seen him just shrug his hips like that and just took Hayden off him on a one-on-one contest, but he's got the ability to steady at the right time and finish.
So this time, it's the Crows who are surging towards three-quarter time. Good bounce in the middle. Biglands knocks it down. Taken away by Bill. Back come the Dockers. Kicks inside the 50. Medhurst gathers it, trying to corral him down there. Smart. Kick comes back towards Bill. Playing out of his division. Biglands came back. Knocked away by Palmer. In the backs of the umpire. Biglands to get the free. With Biglands. Left half back. Under 4 minutes till three-quarter time. This side up by 9 points. Gallops away, goes to the attacking side of the ground. That was his intention. Knocked on out there by Bassett. 2 men loose. Begley can run to the 50. Lines up, goes long. Off to the left. Wonderful opportunity.
Good set play from Bassett. Wasn't realised he had 2 teammates on the goal side of the contest and didn't go for the mark, just went to tap the footy on.
It's been 4 goals, 6 to 3 behinds in this third term in favour of the Crows. The Dockers, however, with an 8-goal second term at the city end of the left of screen. They'll be coming home to that end. The breeze might be dying off a fraction though. Parker long towards the broadcast wing, and Bell wants to get it on quickly over the head of Simmons. No mean feat. And his deft little paddle for Pavlich, well, he mops up and makes it look all right.
Good kick.
And goes for Medhurst, who'll mark on the 50. Now, he's going to be too far out, so he chips it for Pavlich, who kept on running. Hart provides the spoil. Rashudo mops up. Smart back for Rashudo. He's having a field day.
28 possessions.
Edwards goes short. Bickley marks on half back, having a good quarter. Gets it on quickly. This is Henshaw. Long ball towards Burns at half forward. Wrestling with Parker, and he's taken a one-hander. Oh, Ronnie's coming to the party. Kicks quickly inside 50. Perry charging out. The bounce is kind for Bill. Feeding off the handball for Woods. Now Haverhill drives it long to the outer side. Medhurst, and the Dockers can go.
Good kick, that one. Just got there. Clock running down. Just over 2 minutes till three-quarter time. Paul Medhurst. The defensive side of the wing, Pavlich in front, had it knocked away. Cross comes Tawney, good pick-up, gets free, chips it down towards half forward and Begley. Dropped the mark, now he's got a problem. Bode cruises past though, makes it look okay, 55 metres out, it's like target practice. Down there, strong mark taken by Polak, and that could well be 50.
Yeah, that's a magnificent mark there, isn't it? It is 50, Dan. Polak, I reckon he's the best young mark going around. It's a big rap, I know, but he's as good as Jeff White was when he burst onto this AFL scene.
Wonderful pair of hands there. And young McFarlane, not far behind him. Getting heated in there now.
Simmons off, Dan. Sandilands on.
Saw Chris Connolly in the kitchen, feeling the heat. What a game. Hadrill across half back. I think Clinton was right. That breeze is starting to fall off a bit and come more directly across the ground. Good news for the Crows. Smart to Laddens. It is the way the Crows are playing at the moment. Hart to Bode. Digs it in, finds 10. Gets around Carr. Goes with the right boots. Didn't like it too much. It wanders across the 50. Spiked out of there. The two-handed slap from Parker found Bell. Shammer camped underneath it. Corny flew over, committed. Now Shammer with half forward exposed. Runs away, pushed as he kicked. Opportunity across half back for Biglands. Trying to get him down was McManus. In charge is Bassett. Broke one tackle. McManus got him though. Ball guard out of there. Free kick is paid. Advantage now. Sandilands got it across to Headland towards full forward. Expect the unexpected. Longview at backside of one. Threw it on the boot. Smothered off the boot by Laddams. And the dangerous pass. No, it hasn't. Out of bounds on the full. Bell will take the kick. 45 seconds remaining in the term.
Does it get more exciting than that? It may hear Medhurst flying. Help through for a rush behind.
Gee, Peter Bell's work rate this quarter has been unbelievable. We know we expect it of him every week, but he has worked tirelessly this quarter. Mopped up beautifully in defence to help out his back half, but then he's run forward to just get on the end of that free kick then.
Has 9 possessions for the quarter, Peter Bell. 39 seconds remaining. The Dockers, having kicked 8 goals in the second term, remain goalless here in the third. Risciuto to a contest. Dockers with numbers and quality there. Pavlich. Kick and a half out. Needs to find an option here. Goes wide. Effective. Walker still too far out. Drifting it short. Misses the target in Cook. Opens the door for the Crows. Boda's caught. High or fairly holding the ball. No advantage to Farmer. Advantage is not paid. Farmer finished it. It will come back.
That looked high.
Good kill, Farmer.
Bode took the tackler on, didn't he? But it looked a little high. He can't believe it.
Now the time clock stopped at 15 seconds. Headland, if he catches a peek at the scoreboard, will be aware of that. Now it will run. Dockers without a goal for the entire 28 minutes of the term, but with the siren looming, can Des Headland deliver? On its way. Close. Missing to the right-hand side, and that will be the scoreline at three-quarter time.
How about that? Could have been a kick for a place in the finals. Who knows? Mark Risciuto has seen it all before. Not flustered. 11-11, 10-9. The final half hour to savour, one senses. There's the siren on the kick. Three-quarter time, and like a good team, as we expected, the Adelaide Crows have come storming back. 4 goals to none in that term. And at three-quarter time, they're up by 8 points. It's Adelaide, 11-11. The Fremantle Dockers at 10-9.
Tonight, the Saints call up the Kangaroos at the Phone Dome. But have they got the X factor to hold the Roos head first run up the 8? St Kilda and the Kangaroos tonight on Fox Footy Extra.
It's the business end of the season and the battle of the big boys begins. This week, the Brisbane Lions face off against Port Adelaide. And 6 lucky Brisbane Lions fans will win a fantastic AAPT prepaid mobile starter pack just for getting along to the game. The AAPT Brisbane Lions take on Port Adelaide at the Gabba this Saturday, 26th of July, 7:10 p.m. Get your tickets from Ticketmaster 7 on 1300 136 122. Footy at the Gabba, you've got to be there.
Do not adjust your television set. The hard men have returned. The bruisers and the knucklemen. All the usual suspects from Big Carl to Lethal League. This is not for the faint of heart. This is football at its downright toughest. The best of 40 years of footy mayhem. Now Biff's Bumps and Brawlers, volumes 1 and 2 are out on DVD. A double-pack bolting with the stuff that sends the tribunal crazy. It's out now. Get yours at these stores now.
You understand how important it is that your pilots don't stray from the agreed fly zones. The treaty depends on it. In times of war,
could be a good opportunity to test our shiny new digital camera. Why do I listen to you?
Some lines
Wow, guys, you're on TV.
should never be crossed.
Shoot that fire! Shoot it now! Where is it? We're clipped! Reject!
Now, with the enemy all around you,
Archangel is down, and I am on the run.
The battle for survival.
Evade and survive. Do whatever it takes.
Has only just begun.
Do you have any idea how much damage this incident may cause to the peace process?
Our man is down behind enemy lines. Now what is the problem?
I saw the graves. The bodies in the hills. Tell him I am an American.
Gene Hackman.
I'm not gonna let that kid die out there.
You will lose your command.
So be it.
Owen Wilson.
They killed my pilot because we took pictures of the graves and I know where they are. And we get them.
Gentlemen, any man who doesn't wish to join this mission, step away right now.
Prepare to cross the line. Behind enemy lines.
You still got your boots on you, cowboy?
They were tied on.
Premiere season commences July 27 on Showtime. It's time for a makeover.
Well, look, we only have 12 weeks, so maybe we better look at the house.
In brand new episodes of This Old House, the team rejuvenate 2 houses from the ground up.
Push it back a couple of feet. So blend it all in to make it look like it's always been there.
This Old House, 7:30 Mondays on Lifestyle.
Hi, I'm Ken Kingsley from the Geelong Football Club. Want to know what makes this cat purr? Being surrounded by 4 beautiful women who love talking about football.
The chicks behind the big sticks. Living with Footballers, Tuesday nights on Fox Footy Channel.
Three-quarter time, Adelaide coming back strong, 11-11-77 to finish against the breeze though. Burns 3, some wonderful moments in that term. Burton and Rutten 3 apiece as well. And for Fremantle, Carr didn't add in that quarter to his halftime tally of 3. Farmer likewise, he's got 3. Longmuir again had some chances up forward and didn't quite do as much as the Dockers would have liked. Everyone very attentive. There's the man who had the kick right on the siren. After that tackle, Headland waiting for Bode, bulldogged him down, and really that was the last act of the third term, and on reflection probably a good tackle.
Yeah, good decision. I thought it was a little bit high, but clearly not.
No.
Took the game on, Bode, took the tackler on, and if you do that and you get pinged, the tackler should be rewarded.
This one of the Dockers' biggest quarters in club history coming up.
Well, they're going to the end of which 17 of 21 goals have been scored, so the stats are on their side. We thought the breeze may have dropped a little bit, but it seems to have picked up just looking at the flags there. But very interesting. It's all going to come down to the clearances. Simmons has been pretty good, but Matthew Clark and Biglands have had their moments as well, haven't they?
Yes, and certainly not as strong as when the game started. Carriers, a parting word to Brett Burton. Well, 6 games and a quarter left for the Dockers. 3 wins will guarantee a spot in the finals. And for the Crows, of course, they're thinking top 2. And the advantages, they will glean from that. The pressure almost palpable. Mark Riddings is down on the boundary with Adelaide assistant coach Peter Curran.
Yes, Peter, you got yourself back into the game against the breeze. It's a huge ask.
Yeah, look, it's obviously a challenge, but one we're looking forward to.
Just 4 goals kicking to the right of screen, so any change of strategy?
No, look, it's just important for us to be able to use the ball well. I think a couple of times there in the third quarter we probably could have used it better when we had time and space, so that's the challenge for us.
Thanks, Peter.
Okay, Mike.
So, we're set to go. Big crowd too. And they've been vocal today, and that's part of Chris Connolly's philosophy, developing a profile. Kent was talking about it earlier. Suddenly Fremantle have a profile in the AFL.
The cloud starting on the half-forward line, Dennis.
Whoa. Leon Woods has got him. Woods, who counted into Shirley early in the game. Last quarter at Subiaco Oval. Sandilands and Clark both in their crouch. Sandilands wins it down. Chopped off by Begley. Tackled immediately by Headland, taken down. And the umpire will bounce it again.
Freo persist with Justin Longmuir, McManus and Jeff Farmer basically on their full forward line.
McLeod is just to the right of this pack now. He's pushed up the ground. Walker knocks it only as far as Rashudo. Kicks to half forward. That push again. He does it well, McFarlane. Gets it away. No.
It's a free.
Finally, after several pushes, he had reason to think, well, I'm getting away with this. That's where it gets confusing. Perry's got the football, and what a start it would be for the Crows if they can get the early goal. As we heard, McLeod started across half forward. He would appear to be the logical hero. Will there be an unexpected hero? Maybe Perry on the strength of that leg, long down to full forward. Burton juggled the mark, not paid, tied up by Parker. Umpire wants it again, 5 metres out.
Disciplined play from the Adelaide team then, just allowing Burton and Rutten being one out on their opponents so they didn't get numbers down deep.
Clark over his shoulder. Cook, quick hands, Bill. They cleared the danger zone. A one-on-one, Rashudo and Carr. Creative. Boundary line, a pretty good result in the end, given the game mark Rashudo's having. Let's check on that breeze downstairs, Mark. Is it still as strong as it was earlier this afternoon?
Well, quickly, the flags would suggest that it is a very healthy breeze to which the Dockers are kicking with, but really at ground level, I think the Crows should be able to get enough distance to at least attack the 50-metre area with some confidence.
They enter the 50 with that hurried Mark Bickley kick. But the Dockers back there in numbers. And now, to try and set something up. Their deficit is 8 points. Woods being patient. Walker presents himself short. Woods goes longer towards Sandilands and Polak. Important ball to be won, and Rashudo, as he's done all afternoon, feeding Hart. Long to McLeod. Good fist by Woods. And a bounce might ensue 35 metres out from the Adelaide goal.
That is a vote of confidence in Dion Woods, is it not?
That's what he's done all year, Chris Connolly-Dennis. Backed his young backline in.
Crows dangerous here. Clark slapping it forward near the boundary line. No runners, and Peter Bell is happy to see it over for a throw-in.
Sandilands got a big job. Another young player thrust into the limelight here. He's in the ruck, of course, with Clark. Clark's been pretty good at these boundary throw-ins.
Clark, hard man to get around. Knocked it straight down to Woods that time, though. Fossicking for it, and there is Burton. Somehow got it to Clark. Gets the handball away. Smart release from 45 from the outside of the boot. It wanders down towards the behind post and fisted across the line. It'll be thrown in again. Both coaches rolling the dice. Clark concedes front spot this time, trying to flick it down behind Bickley. Claim tries to get away, fell to ground, dropped the ball. Well, you can see what Clark was thinking. He gave the inexperienced Sandilands front spot, thinking I'll flick it down behind. It almost came off. There's Walker in the shadows, opposite back pocket, plays on. Goes for distance up towards the wing, and a good grab is taken out there. Hazelby falling to the ground.
Possession number 25 coming up for Hazelby. No score yet in the final term. He targets Medhurst. First grab, not the second. Good recovery. The slap though missed Pavlich. Opens the door for Begley. Tawney and the Adelaide Crows are running. Tawney to Rashudo. The skipper from 55. Wobbly floating kick to the pocket. Now Rutten and Burton will force a boundary throwing. Mark Rashudo casting a glance elsewhere. On the run from 50, you were just about ready to ink it in the footy record. 32 possessions. 8 points, Crows lead. Clark in front. McLeod lurking. Ominous. Dangerous. Potent. Devastating. Andrew McLeod. Second goal, the first of the final term, and the Crows lead by 14 points.
And that's the area that you would think Dion Woods, Dennis, would struggle. Just that explosion off the pace.
Yeah.
And when he's got the goal in front of him and no defender to beat McLeod, he is absolutely unstoppable. Again, another goal generated from a stop play from the Crows.
McLeod has 2 goals. Once he gets goal side of you, it's all about trouble. Capital T.
Smart's loose in defence for the Crows, and Roger Hayden for Fremantle.
14 points the margin, but bear in mind, that was the signal in the second term. for a goal avalanche from the Dockers, the opening goal to the Crows. Can they do it again? Can they find something down deep? In goes Clark, rolled off his shoulder, taken by Rashudo, lost it. Cook in desperate trouble, taken down. Who wants it most? Cook is getting the free kick. Inside the centre square, Troy Cook. Hazelby is running hard and deep. Bell is released on the wing as a result. Good running off the ball by Hazelby. He carted Bell's man away from him. Bell, as a result, has got the footy. Goes down towards the pocket. McManus couldn't get there. It bounces out of bounds. Some wonderful hard running going on now off the ball. It's about instinct. It's about want. Boundary thrown in the pocket. Longmuir comes across to do the ruck work.
Dockers haven't kicked a goal since the 23-minute mark of the second term. Can they conjure up something here? Edwards clears the danger zone for the Crows, gains 30 metres, forces another throw in.
Yeah, that was interesting. Sandilands and Justin Longmuir were trying to orchestrate something there, but it was good team play from McGregor. He realised that and blocked Sandilands' run at the footy.
Clark and Sandilands again. Oh, Clark, that is beautiful. Down to Hart, off to Rashudo, to Andrew McLeod. The guns, the cream rising to the top here. The delivery to Perry was perfect.
He works hard, Perry.
Their forwards have got some room to lead to. Perry, will he reward the lead of Rutten? He'll take it on the bounce. The handball stolen away by Hayden. And now the Dockers are on the rebound, and they've got some loose men. Matthew Carr is one of them. He could go all the way. He's kicked 3 goals today. The Dockers need something. Will Matthew Carr deliver? No, he won't. He hooks the kick. It was set up. He'd love to have it back.
Yeah, he's been pretty good, fought back well. Just slipped in behind Nigel Smart. Smart is a loose defender. He just can't afford to have anyone behind him that is free.
It was like a buffet, wasn't it? So many to choose from. Players everywhere for the Dockers on the rebound. He went alone, which was fair enough. Missed the goal. There's Tawney in the back pocket. Bigland's back on the ground. Rutten is off. Does that mean Clark has gone forward? Not sure. We'll check that in a moment. Kick to the wing meantime. Sandilands going back. Perry coming forward. Knocked it to his own advantage. Props against the boundary line. Kicks it high towards half forward. Rashudo. Wonderful mark by Cook. Launched himself from behind. Rashudo looking for a free. No chance there because the mark was taken. Hadrill gets it away to Hayden. Has a bounce. He's away. Through the centre square. Probing kick. Simmons just on the ground. He's a long kick. He will kick from 55. Pavlich offers short. Ignored.
Should go for home, but isn't it amazing what can happen when someone like Roger Hayden puts the ball under his arm and attacks the forward half from deep in defence. Just things open up in front of him.
Troy Simmons. The margin at 13. It'll take his best effort. From 55, sets it up on the breeze. Good looking kick. I think it's okay. This joint is rocking.
They're not going away, Freo. At Subi, they keep running. They back themselves in with their fitness in the last quarters of matches. But look at this boy go. Bigland's just not picking him up, even though Hayden has a bounce or two. And Simmons just slipping on the ground and getting away from Clark in open space.
Simmons' goal ending a 45-minute goal scoring drought for the Dockers, and it's game alive again. Adams is tied up, and the presence of mind and patience to feed it out for Begley. They get the free advantage play on. The target, Perry. Getting back, Hadrill couldn't mark. Ronnie Burns again. Had a wonderful afternoon. Look at the creative flair there as he finds Henschel to the hot spot near the top of the square. Carr takes it. Sidesteps Biglands. Wants to bring it back to the near side for Parker, and it's okay.
Had to come back because McLeod was out there by himself on the outer side.
Parker's handball was battered down, but Hayden was there to swoop quickly and feed Woods. Has Bell alongside. As Hazelby leading for him out wide, goes to him. Hazelby takes the mark. Now the important ones. McFarlane is pleading for it at centre half back. He goes to him and he marks. Patient Dockers here. Walker. Now Pavlich with Walker on the wing. and he can go. Lead on from Longmuir. Great stuff, Fremantle. There he is, can't believe it. And Longmuir will set his sights on making it a 1-point game.
And all generated from a Paul Hazelby nice kick into McFarlane. It was a risky kick if he didn't get it right. Right on his distance here, Longmuir.
For his third. 1 point the difference.
Generating a fair bit of attacking footy off their half-back line, Cleo. They've done it pretty well all day, just being patient. James Walker getting out into open space and just putting it in a position where Justin can run onto the ball, but initially the kick from Hazelby to McFarlane was outstanding.
Just get the full length. The finesse is almost gone. They're standing toe-to-toe now and they're trading punches. What a finish. What a game it's been. Adelaide by a point. Simmons opposed to Clark. Both of them tired. Both found something. Lannams to McLeod. Immediately attracted a crowd. Good smother on Walker. Spills across to Simmons and he's going nowhere.
It was good tight footy. A couple of smothers and great tackling technique in there from both sides.
He's at attention, wanting to get involved, but what can they do? Pavlich full-chested, charges through, kicks to the pocket, McManus. He's marked, 35 metres out. This is position A for a right footer with this crossing breeze. You just started with the far post. And let it work back. 5 metres, he reckons, has been taken from him there. Last 9 marks to Fremantle.
Well, he's just come inside about 5 metres anyway, Dennis, so he's corrected the umpire, he reckons. Good play if you can get away with it.
And he comes. Like Rapunzel, he kicks from the 50 and he's missed to the near side. And he scores 11.
Well, wouldn't another draw throw another curveball into the AFL top 8? Crows with some confusion on the bench as John Cobb eventually makes his way back onto the ground. Oh, that's a risky one for McLeod. He's at his mercurial best to make it look okay. Penetrating kick to the middle. Perry overruns it. McFarlane was tackled. Got it to Pavlich. Now Cook. He'll drift it out wide. McManus too far out to have a shot this time. Well, it's hard enough out there without your teammates careering into you. Good vision, and Simmons takes the mark and will line it up from 45.
Well, that's the best result imaginable after getting hit by a car.
Skills have been good coming forward, though, haven't they, Fremantle? Just been clean and crisp. Nothing out of the ordinary, but when there's been a target to hit, they've made sure they've disposed of the footy correctly.
Fourth momentum right now, the Dockers. This to break the deadlock midway in the last term. Simmons for his second goal of the quarter. And the Dockers lead is a point only. One behind the result for Simmons. It's 12-12 to 12-11.
I know it's a cliche, but the final round atmosphere pervading Subi at the moment. Just over 10 minutes till full time. The players don't have to be told.
Shudo at full forward, Dennis. So the guns forward, alongside him Shane Parker.
Prizes on offer for both teams. In the pocket, Lannams. Running hard is Tawney. Edwards is short, McGregor is on. Well worked, he comes to McGregor, who stretches. Slips, is it right half back? Henschel is running hard, offering the lead. The youngster showed the confidence, and so too McGregor to go to him. Just forward of the 50 and 50 against Headland. Umpire McBurney. It's about now. Umpire should be seen and not heard.
Shamaron, Medhurst off. Manned up everywhere, Dennis. Only one pair behind Henschel.
Here he is then, on the wing. Goes down towards right half forward. Perry comes hard. Terrific mark. Totally committed he was. He's 55 metres out. Burton is moving towards the square. Smart! Well, how many seasons of experience was involved in that mark? Muscle memory as he went back. A little nudge when he found it. And now he'll kick it goal from 15 metres out. That was wonderful by Nigel Smart, who simply keeps getting better with age. The dasher. Here he comes. I think he's missed to the near side. Scores. A level again.
And I hope you can't read lips, given Gary Ayres' reaction.
Robbie's had his troubles kicking the ball out from fullback today. Hasn't been all that fluent.
That's the man.
We've been happy to concede a wide one, the Crows, and it's on again with Carr. And the Crows do concede it.
We've got time to man up everywhere.
The further we travel into this afternoon, the greater weight of importance for every possession. Carr short for Bell. Like a chess piece, they move it just up to the 40, now to the defensive 50, and Walker.
They're pretty patient. There's no real long target. Simmons is offering a lead now, but essentially they just wait for someone to pop up into open space, Fremantle, in this area. It'll be along now.
31,225 watching on. The kick to the wing and the Birdman flying now. Burton for Rashudo, covering plenty of territory. From the wing, good ball to half forward Johncock. He's too far out to score. Will drive the Crows deep into attack. Smart is back there. Perry's back there. McFarlane's back there. Well, a fortnight ago against Brisbane, he provided the key mark. That's pretty important there because it sets up a Dockers attacking thrust. Pollack for Hazelby. Tashama just on the ground for Medhurst. Brought down. Good tackle by Burton. Boundary throw-in on the wing with the scores level with 7:43 remaining in the final term.
Hart on Pavlich still. Stengline's sticking with Headland.
Had some thrillers at Subi this season. And this one up there with the best. Biglands and Simmons. Biglands works in front with strength, lays it down. Loose ball. Begley approaches it now. Tackle taken down. Whoa. Bit lucky. He took on the tackler. He was up and straight and going at him. Bounce forward of the wing.
No one anywhere near this man in the middle of the ground, Peter Bell.
Johncock is playing him pretty well though. He's moving away from him, daring him to follow. Rashudo, wonderful. Got it out to Stengline. The spiral towards half forward. Hayden got a first on it. Spills wide. Who'll win this one? Very important ball. McFarlane got it to Hayden. Bell is free. They can't get it to him. Johncock has joined in the play. Johncock had it a long time. Taken by McLeod. Spots him there in short burns. Too much carry. Across comes Pollack. He plays on immediately. And Bell scuttles away.
Scores still tied. Bill with a 360-degree turn and a quick handball for Parker.
Hazelby.
This is good. This is very good for the Dockers. It'll sit for Hazelby. He'll get it over the top. Will he? He'll go himself. Hazelby goes for home. Might not be a score. It isn't a score. Edwards back there at the last line. They needed more from that, but with tired legs, Hazelby couldn't carry it. Stengline to Smart on the wing with Grover. The wily veteran here. Will he keep it in for Rashudo? He tries. Rashudo there for support. Tackle. Great tackle. Boundary throw-in. Farmer with the tackle on Rashudo. Chris Conley pensive. Boundary throw-in on the wing.
Grover was great.
What a super contest as we edge into time on of the final quarter. Simmons winning it down. Stengline getting some clearances late. McLeod and Walker. Now Perry for the Crows. Oh, well that was... What's that? A figure four leg lock, Dennis. You're the wrestling man.
I can't define that one. I'm sorry, Cliff.
The end result will have a bounce. Crows with 2-on-2 in their attacking goal square. Then they leave it open for those Two forwards to lead. Biglan's near the boundary line. He's fortunate there. It landed just inside the line.
And Cook just sitting off the pack in open space. So if an Adelaide player does get the ball in open space, he's running into Troy Cook. So that's a probably good setup from him. Everyone else is manned up in there.
Tossed in. Over the top. Came Laddams. Worked forward by Beckley. Charging through there. Cook going to the ground. Come forward by Burns. Hayes will be a bit slow. Smart. In mid-air. Cook's got it. Lost it. Head down. In goes Burton. Free kick. Here's going to Cook. Across half-back. So courageous, Cook.
Got to go.
Yes, to Hadrell. He can run it around the outer side. Deep, it's 2-on-1. Grover wants the short ball. Hadrell dares Begley to come. Gets the hand pass away. And Hayden, like a relay runner, is running the next leg around the outer side. He draws a man. The batter now with Parker. Parker, the unlikely hero, misses the aside. Behind. All of Adelaide sighs a sigh of relief. Well, not Port supporters.
Enough for the lead for the Dockers, for now at least. Less than 5 minutes to play. Edwards goes long to the contest. Bigland, Simmons, Parker getting back. Man in front. Do we paid the mark? No. We'll have a bounce.
See 3-on-2 there. You see the three Fremantle players there. It was an interesting long kick. An interesting decision from Edwards, but they butted up there, Adelaide, so I guess they'd be happy with that.
Well, Shudo's won 20 of it today. Bell likewise for the Dockers. We've already had 2 draws this season. The Dockers here, though, by a point. Laddams with the clearance. Hadrell the spoil on Burton. Carr, wonderful pickup. Hadrell, Shammer. Dockers can look to build. High ball to centre half forward. Crows with numbers, standing his ground. Stengline on the defensive 50.
Had to go to Bell sooner.
He wanted it, didn't he?
Yep.
Stengline lays it off for Laddams. Effective out wide for Beckley. Now Begley, and they've got some room to run the Crows. Begley drives it long on the lead. Perry. Great defensive pressure. No. Poor defensive pressure. McFarlane's given away another free. And he wants to be careful not to give away a 50. His reaction. What does you think, Ben?
Well, the momentum was obviously with Perry. It was a soft push, and Perry probably made it look a lot worse than it was, but the push was definitely there.
Now behind will level the scores. A goal will give the Crows the lead. Some protection from the 3-tier stand. Tired legs. Ian Perry. 1 goal this afternoon. Will this be the kick that promotes the Crows to second on the ladder? No, won't be a score. Man in front, in the pocket, will be a tight angle for the kick.
You just had to block his run at the footy, didn't you? We know he can jump up high only with a couple of steps. Chris Conley would be...
There were no bodies on bodies down there. The 2 Crows came from this side, and the Dockers came from the behind post.
Yeah, they'd almost conceded there was going to be a score.
That's right. That was bad play.
And Burton's the one play you get body on, body on.
Burton has had a wonderful month of footy, entering today 111 touches in the last 4 weeks. He's continued today. He's kicked 3 goals so far.
Tough kick.
2.5 minutes to play to give the Crows the lead. Tight angle. Close. Good enough. Adelaide in front. You're watching this live around Australia on Fox Footy. The winners coming up with Matty Campbell shortly. What a final 2.5 minutes we have coming up.
Incredible. Just there. Saw it. No one blocking his path. Incredibly versatile player, Burton. We've talked about the clearances all day, haven't we? Got Simmons versus Biglands in the middle.
So no mistakes now. The players telling each other that the Dockers have got the push on. To quote Sherbert philosophy, you missed the ball, I caught you out. How's that? Nobody wants to be humming that. in 2.5 minutes' time. All about poise. It comes across to Bell. Bell drives the Dockers towards half forward. They lead in all directions to the ball. Chance for Pavlich. Taken front on. Gets the hand pass away to Coops. Can go short to Farmer. And Farmer's taken the mark. The wizard. The finger tipper. Going down towards the pocket. Players of both sides almost running on empty now. And Farmer. So much responsibility under 2 minutes.
He can come inboard quite easily. No Adelaide player anywhere near him. That is poor defence. He can come to his right.
Yep.
Open up the angle.
Can just wheel around there. Can go 15 metres if he likes to his right. He's plotting, he's planning, he's throwing. He needs to do a bit of kicking. In he comes. Clock down to 1.5. He takes off. He kicks. And the plot is realised. He looks to the heavens.
Great finish. He has been under a fair bit of pressure, along with that little fellow in picture, Medhurst. But that defensive setup was incredibly poor from Adelaide. Nice little touch kick from Coops. Just allowed Farmer to run into that in open space. Bassett coming off his man couldn't affect the spoil. But how's this for poor defence as a team?
Good call, Ben. I pointed it out for our Fox Footy viewers. Dockers by a point. Listen to this crowd at Subiaco with just over a minute to play. We'll have a second bounce. The clock will keep on running.
Great result for the Dockers.
Chucked a couple back. Coops and Dion Woods are loose in defence for Adelaide. McGregor's realised that and trying to come up to be a forward.
McLeod tied up by Hazelby. Shovels it out for Begley. High to centre half forward. Burton will fly. He's pushed out of it. No whistle.
Gee.
Hayden emerges. It's a good pickup. Kicks to the wing. Medhurst near the boundary line. Stop the clock with 50 seconds. 49 seconds to play.
Well, that was a full grunter to a push in the back.
Chris Connolly can't put the phone down. The Dockers searching for their 10th win of the season. All but securing a finals place, you would think. Crows, a goal to get second on the ladder. Can they break it open? Yes, they will. Stenglein hacks it off the ground. Bell on a collision course. Oh, what a tackle by Bassett. Ball is held in. Now will he call for time off? Clock is running. Down to 30 seconds. Scott Jeffrey doesn't blow time off. Crows will have one final roll of the dice. Dockers by a point. Big one's winning it down. Bassett, Hazelby. The all-important clearance goes the Dockers' way. Troy will get there before Medhurst. Medhurst, great no, illegal harassment. Adelaide have got 9 seconds. Time off hasn't been called. The Fremantle Dockers are going to win it by a point. Have fun, listen to this.
What a game.
Believe it, folks, these Dockers are bound for September. Like an anchor's been lifted off their shoulders. Fremantle with a memorable 1-point win, as it was here 5 years ago when they beat the Crows for the first time ever. Adelaide missed a shot to take second spot on the table for now. 10 wins, 6 losses. The Fremantle Dockers are delighted.
And what about the inspiration of Peter Bell? He took them on in midfield knowing that the result he wanted was a tackle to lock the ball in. He just took them on. Let's get down to Mark Reddings.
Well, Peter Bell, in 2 words, pulsating game.
It was a great game. Thanks everyone who came along and watched it. Adelaide were fantastic. We were a bit, I suppose we kicked the majority of our score in 1 quarter. But the guys really stuck at it too. I think Adelaide are a fantastic team also, obviously.
That was really finals type pressure to get there. That's a terrific dress rehearsal.
It is. We want to play in the big games. I know a lot of people have been watching this game. They're not sure where we're at. I think we took a step forward today.
What about the camaraderie amongst the guys, the fans that are here? I know that you've had some brilliant wins this year. This must be right up there.
I think this is right up there. It's a great feeling. Now I suppose we've got to make sure it's all for nothing, not all for nothing, and bounce back again next week.
Well done, Peter.
Inspirational. We talked about it coming in. Leadership. Both teams have got it in spades. Gary Ayres wooing the one that got away and may be anxious just to have a look at a replay of a decision about 50 seconds out from the end there on their forward line. But still, a point either way. I guess a fitting climax to this one. As Bell has another word, this time just amongst his players, not for public consumption. 13-13 to 13-12. Joyous scenes from the Dockers. But Adelaide, so gallant today, undermanned. And I think despite the fact they lost, they sent a message to the rest of the league. Get some forwards down there. And gee, they'll be potent. But that's not to undersell young Rutten, who started so well. Jeff Farmer. Clinton made the point. Anchors off the collective backs of these Fremantle Dockers. No one falls into that category more than Jeff Farmer. 4 goals, a pressure goal. Some lax defence, probably one of the few blemishes in team discipline from Adelaide. Needed somebody to his right-hand side. Let's go down to Mark.
Chris Connolly, we saw you in the coach's box. The anxiety, the tension, that was another wonderful victory.
Yeah, I'm just finishing up for Minty, but look, really proud of the players. It's such an important win for us in terms of the character building going forward. And our disposal skills help us, kind of hurt us at times, in close skills. But the guys will get better as they get stronger and more experienced and spending time playing together.
You're in deep trouble a couple of times. It appeared in the second quarter, in the last quarter, but they dug very deep.
Yeah, look, tremendous character showing, and we're under no illusion. We beat Brisbane and Adelaide and had a fair few key guys out, but we really believe this group will stay together and continually improve, and hopefully it'll be exciting times at Fremantle.
Pretty close to a final style atmosphere because Adelaide were terrific.
Yeah, no, they really, they're a really experienced team, and you learn a lot from them. But as I said, they had some key guys out, and hopefully we get another opportunity against them, and hopefully we can continue to improve.
Congratulations, Chris.
Thank you.
The taste, I bet, in Gary Ayres' mouth, not quite so good.
Moments like these, huh?
That's right. What a finish. Some of these young players just so exciting. We talked about his marking today. McFarlane gave away a couple of frees, but his marking and defence was fine as well. Spoils to the winners. It's amazing. Adelaide off the ground, heads down, and one lousy point. The difference between this sort of adulation and jubilation and what we saw from the Crows. The Crows, on most Sunday afternoons, had done enough to win. But not this game. This was a special game. Really terrific. Enjoyed this. That's the best game I've seen this season, and I've been lucky enough to see a lot of good ones. We'll just savor the moment with the Dockers, who I imagine will sing the song before they go behind closed doors. Byron Shammer, what a story. Barracked for the Adelaide Crows, as I said, growing up, recruited from West Adelaide, and suddenly he's in here celebrating the demise of some of his childhood heroes.